All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Hold up. I'm gonna have to take off. They already put us we loud. Excuse me, we're live. So while we wait for the guys to come, let me find a music to play while we wait for the guys to come, all right?
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, we're live. We can share the video while that's going on. I thought they were gonna wait. Tomalin came in earlier, but then he's in the back, so he's gonna join us. But guys, go ahead share the video as you join us. Um, while we wait for others to join us, the other panelists to join us, we will get ourselves ready. Uh, so yeah, let's see here. Hey, there go the bus man himself. Ansel, how you doing, bus man?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Julius. You guys are live. Yeah, so that we are all set here, so that we can get the ball rolling.
Thank you, boss man. Appreciate it. The guys are coming in. What I'm gonna do while we wait for them, we're just gonna play music here and there, and while people share the video, guys, as you come on here, um, we appreciate if you would do us a favor. Do yourselves a favor. Share the video. Invite somebody. Tell somebody. Tell somebody else to come and be a part of the conversation. Your friends are not my friends. Now are your friends that of Ansu's. Ansu friends are not yours because Ansu is a diplomat, right, Ansu?
Exactly. So you got it right.
See,
Yeah.
answer don't mess around with people like us. They're diplomats. They do this. They do their things in a very different way. But it's good to be on here today. Happy. What I would say. Happy Good Friday. Is that
Yeah.
a
Have a
Friday?
good Friday. Holy Good Friday.
Okay.
Blessings on
Happy
Good
Happy
Friday.
Good Friday. Holy Good Friday. Ansu, are you guys celebrating the Friday in Liberia? The Good Friday?
Yeah, so we are doing it our rescue way. The rescue government. Yeah, so we are doing it our rescue way. It is a holiday day. Yeah, so there are a lot of activities taking place around town, especially to the churches. Some people are closing the revival, could say. Some people still going on with the normal church activities. Just to
Okay.
get the Easter week, running.
Well, and so if all of that's happening, stay away from Henry, man. Stay holy, all right. Stay away from Henry. Whatever you do, just stay away from Henry today. All the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, stay away from Henry. You want to stay holy, right?
Yeah, the Harry Ato.
There you go. Look, see, I'll get Ato a little pass. I'll give him a little pass on that. But Henry, definitely stay away from that boy, man. I try to stay away from him, so I went fishing today. He came to my house. I had to lock the door in front of him. So he ain't coming inside. That boy, he's terrible.
Say Ansu and Lofa. I will just step back. I'll go
Mhm.
back.
Yeah, you can come. Yeah, you can definitely you can come on back on. We're just trying to get him prep up. I see Chairman Ben Sanvee is in the back. Chief Tomalin, St. Tomalin George is in the back. Once we get started, you guys will come in. I know we're a little late, but let's get it let's get it running, guys. For those of you that are following us on the YouTube channel, do us a favor, share the video. Invite other people. I know a lot of you follow from the YouTube channel because you feel like you don't want to be disturbed with the comments and everything else. That's great. But as you come on the YouTube channel as well, do yourself due diligence. Share the video. Invite other people to be a part of the conversation. And those of you that are on the various Facebook platforms, the closing argument, and other platforms such as um, the Truth Talk, and I think Hot FM. Yes, get on that, share the video, and let us all be a part of the process. A lot of things to talk about today, but most importantly, we have our special studio guest who will be joining us. St. Tommy Lee George, once he get in studio, will take that part of it. But while we're doing that, I think it's only fair for us to acknowledge and appreciate the contribution from our audience on here. So we will play our music as we welcome all of you to the closing argument. Today is Friday, the 29th of March. There are people who are celebrating their birthdays today. I can tell you that for a fact. So if you're celebrating your birthday today and you're part of the Closing Arguments platform, we want to appreciate you for being a part of us. We want to send a special birthday shout out to you. For those of you celebrating your anniversary, we also want to use this as an opportunity to send an anniversary shout out to you. And those of you that are mourning your loved ones and other thing, we want to send our condolences to all of you guys out there as we prepare ourselves to get into today's political conversations. We know a lot of you out there who are anxious to be a part of this conversation, but we cannot get to where we want to get at until you, the people, do your part of the do your part of the job. So until then, while we wait for the guys to get in,
anything you want buy, you up. Even the food you want eat, you up. So let my you want drink.
Big Smoke Roller is also following us.
And the hope on the side, you up. And back a reference that you be up. Check it. Transportation that you ready up. Go. Check food things that you be up. Oh.
The country need a clean president, a God-fearing.
The man Christian Robert himself is also in the building right now.
You reach or you pull, you not know book, it doesn't matter how you look. Yeah. We're not asking for presidential degree, like the one and like they can't do the plenty.
Thompson be bad.
Connection, support that war or even broad ammunition. We need a typical Liberian with a clean hand who get lost.
Get to the tabagi.
The belly, open your eyeball when you go.
The name alone made me hungry.
For you kissy man, so you voting for kissy man. For what trouble, listen, bring it all that team by la skin. Check it, body country.
Maxwell Nyepa.
Stay with his stress. See, all the way we not plenty. How we on the love make a daily to relay. Just want eat to the
Roosevelt Flomo.
poor people, there's someone that's sleeping in the cold. And you was thinking when you up, you up. Now we going way up. Nobody can even talk.
Henry Doe, we are going all the way up.
Oh, why in you bottle your belly?
You up.
And of course, Nora Hoax is in the building already.
Even the food you want eat, you up.
Ready, go.
So let my you want drink.
For Baku, welcome to the show.
And the hope
If you're joining us, share the show, invite other people to be a part of the conversation. We have ourselves a special studio guest tonight. I think it's the police director or special inspector general. I'm sorry if I missed his title. No disrespect, but yeah, he's gonna be with us tonight. So do us a favor, share the video.
So many people.
Tomalin George is in the building. He's gonna give you more update on that.
They talking with my lambo. She feeling like they both to daily job like who you know. Check it when you not have fit connection. And people
Aaron Zen is in the building as well.
everything flying delicate. The government talking saying they have the control over press. Yeah, foreign can eat the best. They go in.
Let's Ruth Pongba. Welcome to the building, my
And it's
man.
talking about him, right? Every day we hear him, they but they can never eat the man. The people never said in the suffering, they looking for their living, then they do a messy scene. There's so much reimbursing Pantana. Look good medication.
Alsata Dawson, welcome to the show.
I hope parents salary can come on time. So before they want and they finish credit all around. Yo, every day they might have a kobo on my man.
Johnson to Jotu, welcome to the show.
anything you want buy, you up. Even the food.
Charles Archie Benita, welcome to the show.
But let my you want drink, you up. And the hook
And of course, the man Riverside Support himself is in the building as well. Welcome to the show, big man.
up. Transportation that you be up. Check school fees that you be up. Oh, my people we crying.
Dosing Pay, welcome to the show, boss man. The man Ja Eddie.
Anything you want buy, you be up. Even the food you want eat, you be up.
Everything is going up in the country, the folks are saying. And of course, you got yourself the asset recovery team that is supposedly arresting and trying to incarcerate people without any form of jurisdictions to what they are speaking to. Folks, I want to welcome all of you to the closing argument. The man, St. Tomalin George, is in the building. We will now hand things over to the man, St. Tomalin George, and of course, not forgetting Ansu, all the way in Liberia, bringing us live on various radios and other media platforms. We want to thank you for being a part of the conversation. Don't hesitate to share the show because you will have yourself your police director or inspector general joining us in studio tonight. A lot of things to talk about. Stay tuned.
Well, good Friday, everyone. Lofa, look, man, you got that voice. You know, back in the days, I think you remember we were in Liberia, right? Saturday night when they sending requests, all these guys, man. Look, that's your era, man. You
Thank you.
You have that gift, man, where sending people requests and sharing shout out to people. I mean, sometimes you should do it, man. Do it on Friday nights, weekend nights.
Okay.
Send a few people, live, man. Play some nice music and sending requests to people. Birthday, wedding, you got it, man. I'm telling you, man. I was enjoying you, man. Your voice is, I'm not kidding, man.
Low father, not the bill.
Yeah. Also, man, everybody, good to be here. It's Good Friday, according to the Christian, to Christians around the world. It was on this day that Judas betrayed Jesus Christ. Oh no. It was the day that Jesus got killed, right? Right? They killed Jesus today, right?
Now y'all going to religion. I ain't gonna get it.
No, wait. It was Good Friday night.
Oh yeah, it was today Jesus got it was today he was nailed on the cross for us. I think that's why it's referenced as Good Friday.
Good Friday, yeah. He was betrayed yesterday by Judas, right?
No. Yeah. He was betrayed was that yesterday or last week?
On Wednesday.
Right.
He was betrayed on
Wednesday. Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. He was betrayed by Judas on Wednesday. The Last Supper, one of the Last Supper.
See, Tomalin, when you say that word, you got to pronounce the word right because I have people be like, Julius, you betrayed Jesus. It's Judas.
No, I was Judas. I said Judas. Judas. I can't say Judas.
I have my little nephew call me and talk about Uncle.
Yeah, you see. Yes. Riverside Pro, you're right. Great voice. Sound like Norman Day, Sarah's Battle, all these guys. That kind of voice, look I got. Man, good. Man, that's a blessing, man. You try to do that shout out. Yeah, but it was today is Good Friday, and Christians around the world celebrating this day for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He bared his suffering for us on that cross of Calvary, and on Sunday he'll be resurrected from the grave, and will be so triumph, shouting Hosanna in the highest. Our Lord has been resurrected, and we'll sing praises to him. Yes, but guys, it's a good time. And also, our Muslim brothers are also, as you know, they're on the fasting. I continue the fasting. We want to also remember them too, our Muslims brothers and sisters, as you guys continue to fasting for peace and for stability all over the world. I want to say thank you, and just want to say that let us continue to pray for a peaceful universe. But guys, good to be back on the closing argument. Today is Friday, March 29th, 2024. And hopefully today we'll be having as our guest for the first time the Inspector General of Police, Inspector Gregory Coleman. Inspector Coleman is personally in the USA, and I heard he has a vision for the Liberian National Police to transform the National Police, and he'll be sharing with the Liberian people tonight his vision for the police and what he's personally in the US for. He'll share with us what's happening at the Liberian National Police. But as we await the Inspector General to come and the rest of the guys, there are a lot of things happening. I know today President Boaka again gave an administrative act. He suspended the director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Stanley Ford, for what he called, I think, financial malpractices.
Wow.
I tried reaching out to Mr. Ford today, but I tried and I didn't get him. But yeah, President Boaka suspended him. And I remember he dismissed the deputy director at NASCOP, Madam Yeke. And so far, I think that two persons he have already put his action on since he became president.
What
He
they
dismissed one
what
person.
Tomalin, let me get a quick answer to this one though. Were they appointed or they were people who he met in office?
He made them in office.
Okay.
Senate Ford, he replaced Alex Coffey, the guy
Hmm.
who's now on the asset recovery team.
Okay.
Yeah, Senate Ford replaced him. And the Financial Intelligence Unit is a strong arm of the Ministry of Finance there. They do a lot of forensic and investigation and so forth.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so forth. Uh, and then also we heard, during the course of the time we were on here, the asset recovery team. As I said again, I'm not in support of that team. I believe in asset recovery. I
Right.
believe in it. Those who got ill-gotten wealth should be investigated. Those who got government property illegally should be investigated. But you should appoint the right people and do it the right way. Okay. But what we saw the other day, people acting as police was wrong and is unfair. That's why we call on the Senate again, the Senate, the legislature, not to approve, not to give them a penny in the budget. They put $1.5 million for them. They should not give them. They don't deserve that money until they can do a
Right.
better, do the right way. You can't just people who having this vendetta against people. You have them go after people like what that the Supreme Court had to step in and told them to return the people with vehicles with them, and until they can do it, until further notice. I think it's wrong. Same thing they did with the 10 people. Right now, the case at the Supreme Court on Tuesday, the full bench met. Uh, the full judge, we have one for four because the other guy died, so they are four until the president can appoint the fifth person. They met on Tuesday, and they listened to arguments from both sides, and they will be heading on a ruling perhaps next week. So look forward to see it. But I think in the Supreme Court, I mean, that's why our founders decided when the Constitution to have three separate branches of government, so that the judiciary, they are there to interpret the law, the executive enforce, and the legislature make the law. So the judiciary is interpreting the law to the Border administration, and those that is not the right way, is not against that thing we're running. People cannot just assume the police power and start taking people's car, asking for documents, and so forth. I mean, I think I heard today that they returned the former director of police car to him. I heard today. And look, like,
Right.
before you come in, look, that was a process that was initiated, I think I heard during the Taylor administration. Now, you can have a problem with the process that if a car is a brand new car or 2022 car, you say for other 3 years, you say that you have depreciated, so you want to sell it for a discount price. I mean, we can argue about that. But it's a law that in effect, a policy that in effect. President we had took over, they tried to do it to Clarence Moneyba and the president information minister, but the president and President we are immediately intervened, and he realized what causing problem, he stopped it. But they tried to do it too, but he intervened immediately and stopped it, and I think it will discontinue. But President Bouaka, I don't think he's not even saying nothing about it. So I think the courts had to intervene. But that's not fair, and I think you should do it the right way.
But Tomalin, to speak to this whole asset recovery team, honestly, um, they will continue to disgrace themselves. Look, Tomalin, if you lie on your resume and you lied about your experience, when you're given the 60 or 90 days to perform, you know what happened? You appear to be like a deer in the headlight. Okay, you know nowhere to go. It will take time. If you come to a specific position, okay, telling the truth based on your resume, you come in. Look, I've had no experience. I'm just out of college, but with the passion and desire to be a part of this specific career field, your supervisors and managers know that you have to learn on the job. Instead, these people told Liberians they were experienced. You just spoke about this asset recovery law. This is something that was put into place during Charles Taylor, as you rightfully stated, right? Charles
Yeah.
Taylor. So after Charles Taylor, who came into power next? Who came
Uh,
into?
After Tito, I mean, democratically, it was President Salif.
But okay, so democratically, we elected Madam Sharif. Madam Sharif, with all of these individuals that you hear running around here pretending to be victims or pretending to be in love with the country today, they were part of that government. They didn't do anything to make sure that they can amend parts of it, but they were self-proclaimed educated people. President Weah came, he attempted it, and everybody raised the voices, and he said, "You know what? To maintain the peace, I'm going to pull back on this." So nothing was done. You were given 12 years, you did nothing. President, we had 6 years, nothing changed. And then in your first 3 months, okay, which is added to your 12 years, then all of a sudden you appear to have forgotten everything that you were part of, that you may have benefited from to some extent. Wasn't it based on the same law that the current information minister bought his car? Wasn't based on the same law that other government officials who served in Ellen government? Wasn't it based on the same law that they were able to walk away with those vehicles? Anybody who sincerely desire change in Liberia, to be honest with you, Tomalin, they will start with themselves. The president who sincerely desire and want to see actual change in Liberia, he will come to office, declare and publish his assets, and start with family members, such as what Musa Hassan Bedede did today. It was done publicly, verbally, but I wish that he will actually go to the extent where he would distance himself from the entire process. I think allegedly, and we can speak to this in detail, his son was involved with some drug issue. He said, "Look, let the law be the law. My son is a grown man. He's an adult. I got nothing to do with it." I really wish that Honorable Boykai probably would have had his DEA team to start with his son. But let me not deviate the question here under the asset recovery team. The guys are jokers. They're a bunch of gangsters who pretend to know what they're doing, but they know nothing. The simplest way to put this is that these guys needed to be rescued, and they did it at the expense of the suffering masses. They are now there. They're finding every way to get a dime or two in their pockets to put people in positions who will actually impinge on the rights of other Liberians. Tomalin, this is not something we should joke with, because the further you push people to the wall, when you can no longer go beyond that point, they will retaliate. And the retaliation is not what we want in Liberia. And this is why I think that after this initial incident, they should abolish the entire asset recovery team, and no funds should be allocated to any, not a dime should be given to them. And we should find an independent body to go about the asset recovery and repossess what is rightfully Liberians. Then we can talk about it. Until then, I think it's a joke what Honorable Boyka and his team mentioned asset recovery, because all of the guys that are out there, they're not about anything real. They're joking. And then they simply just want to rescue themselves because of they find themselves in poverty, and they just cannot make it. Outside of government, they're nothing. I'll stop at that point.
Again, welcome, Grace. Good to see you again on this Good Friday. Yes, as I said, I'll continue to say I support 100% the retrieval of government-owned vehicles that people took illegally. The thing is, it's not fair. If you know the car, there are a lot of people who I know who turn the vehicles over when, and the minute the transitional process started, they turned the vehicles over and they moved on. But some people decided to do all kinds of stuff. I don't think it's fair. But again, I think the president, he means well, but he should put the right people there and then let them go through the right process. You can't put somebody who there and already talking about what they're going to seize already. They're already targeting people. I don't think it's fair, and I pray and hope that they will revisit it, and because the Supreme Court already started to embarrass them, because the last thing you want to do is see the Supreme Court overturning your decision, putting you in check, and until they can do the right thing, I think they'll continue to have this kind of a backlash. So, well, that's the situation we find ourselves in. But as let me log off and see if I can make contact with
No, I
Inspector
think
John.
the guest is in the back. He's been waiting.
Oh, but Ben, you got control now.
Yeah, but I thought you could see I just log on.
But Ben, you got control. You're supposed to.
You know what I said? I just logged on. I just noticed that he's been in the back because you have the same control, right?
No, but I was talking now. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay. Well, I was in time. Let me just bring it. Okay. We want to welcome the Inspector General of the Liberian National Police, Inspector Gregory Coleman. Inspector Coleman, it's a pleasure to have you on the closing argument. I want to first again congratulate you on your second stint as Director of Police or Inspector General of Police, and I know your appointment was met with a lot of praises from people from all walks of life. Perhaps from your first tenure as the Director of Police. But once again, welcome you, and I'll let the panelists introduce themselves, and then we'll give you the opportunity to give your opening comments. We'll start with the lady, Grace, and then Kev, Ben, and Winfrey.
Hi, Director Kuma. My name is Grace Kua. I am the president of the Liberian Women Advocacy Network International in America. I'm also the founder of Legacy Holding Foundation since 2009. I am happy to be here, and I'm happy to have you here on the platform today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, Kev, Lofa, Winfrey.
Well, let me introduce myself because I haven't talked to Gregory since he got appointed police director. So let me introduce myself. No, I'm just messing with him. I'm just playing. Greg, it's good to see you. Congratulations on again on your appointment. No doubt in your confidence and what you bring to the table. Looking forward to having an engaging conversation with you this evening on the betterment of our country. Thank you. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
Hey, Craig, how are you? Welcome to the closing argument. Keff Hassan here.
Thank you, Kev.
Mr. Coleman, welcome to the closing argument. Lofa Julius, if you will please kind of put your camera in a horizontal mode so that our audience can kind of have that opportunity to just really see you. That you it kind of zoom you in on it. There you go.
Okay, that's much better. Yeah.
Perfect. There you go. Yes, a whole lot. Now they can see you better. Thank you. I stated earlier, I'm Lofa Julius. Great to be on here today. I know nothing about you. Of course, you probably know nothing about me, so I'll be trying to dig deeper into getting to know you as you represent me in Liberia. I'd like to know what you bring to the table in defense of lives and properties. Thank you.
Winfrey.
Thank you, Lofa.
Winfrey,
you can hear us? I think he's muted. Winfrey, you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted. You unmute you?
Okay, while we're waiting for him, let me again. Winfrey, you can.
There you go. You unmuted.
Okay.
Go ahead, Winfrey. Go ahead. Don't mute yourself. I'm gonna mute you.
Okay, but let us again welcome Director Coleman. Director Coleman, it's a pleasure to have you. And as I said, when your appointment was announced, it met with excitement from people from various spectrums of the society. But if I'm first to ask you, how are you doing? How your family, and how's everything going with you at your end?
Well, thanks for asking. I'm doing excellently well. Family is good. We're all in good health, sound mind, and we give thanks and praise to God. It's an honor to be here this evening. Another opportunity to be able to speak to the people of Liberia and all those who are listening to this platform as well. I'm here to provide information, give insight on happenings within the police and the overall safety and security of the state of Liberia.
Thank you, Director. We're just getting started right away. Dr. Coleman, one of the most important institutional security apparatus is the National Police, and everybody call it Liberian National Police, call it police. But that's why when they talk about the police, people get very, very concerned, and everybody wants to know exactly what's happening. But we are live on Hot FM in Monrovia today, Truth FM. We are live, and several radio stations across the country is carrying this program live. And but I want to say first, let me ask you, since you took over, what have been your first 100-day plan for the Liberian National Police?
Well, Liberian Police is not a political institution. We don't focus on making promises. We are just ensuring that the safety of the state is strengthened and that the institution capability of protecting the state further is being strengthened as well. We've been providing increased security, making assessments, risk analysis, and looking at the existing threats and finding means of mitigating over the last 100 days.
He's frozen.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, Mr. Coleman. Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know where I stopped.
You froze partially on the fact that the Liberia Police is not a political institution.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can keep it. Our job is continuous. We're not measuring by a number of days of service. From the time we took over, we've been assessing where we are as a nation security-wise and doing risk assessment and putting in measures to mitigate the exit threats and smarter measures to keep the state safe. That's what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I would let Grace. Grace, you can ask your questions and 2 questions, and then we can move on.
Okay. Thank you, Tomalin. Before I ask my question to Director Coleman, I would like to clarify something quickly. I know Tomalin was saying concerning the asset declaration and the assets recovery in the country. He was saying something about when doing President Weah's time, he put a stop to it right away and everything. And this time it's not happening. He talked about Dr. Muniba in that aspect. And Dr. Muniba is my political leader. I have to clarify certain things. When Dr. Muniba was stopped, the car wasn't for the government. That was his own personal vehicle. So they wronged him in that first place. So he had to actually bring his vehicle paperwork. And he showed them that he purchased the vehicle outside of government. And that's how he was getting his vehicle back. Just to clarify that. Director Coleman, recently, before I ask the question, I would say congratulations on your new position. And I mean, we're looking forward to seeing what you can do. Personally, I don't know you. I knew you were there before. I wasn't following too, much at that time. But now I'm actually focused and I'm following. So I'm looking forward to see how you will help Liberia. And you just got in, so we can't, ponder you too much here today. But I want to ask, there was an incident in Liberia recently with an older woman called Teresa Kume. And that woman's story really broke my heart. She was left alone by her family and they put her in the streets, just to survive. She never had anybody, couldn't walk. And a group of young people beat her to almost death. And a good Samaritan in America were able to actually send his family member to take her to the hospital. Since that incident happened, we have not heard anything from the police. There was no arrest, except there has been arrest. I don't know. I haven't seen it. We, the Liberian Women Advocacy Network International, we talk about it on social media. We advocated against it. We wrote United Nations, reported your security and your police concerning that particular incident because we don't want our elderly people to be treated that way. So I want to know today whether you actually found out anything about this case, Director Kwame Weeks, I don't know whether he's still director, but for the Liberian News Agency page, he carried that story. And that story was all over the place. So did you hear it, and what are you doing about it? That's my first question.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead and address it, or you want to ask the second?
Let me ask the second. So my second question is that during the elections, the reason why I did my background work on all the candidates, and the reason why I choose Dr. Moniba because of his one of the things was his policy was very, very upcoming and forefront to the Liberian people, what he was going to deliver. So one of the things that he said he was going to deliver was that he was going to have a retraining policy for all the police officers. He was going to expand benefit for all police officers and immigration and military officers and their families. So are you looking into doing that? And then if you are looking into doing that, are you also looking into having trainings? Because when you on a job, you have to be retrained and recertified and retrained for you to actually pick it up and be able to do what you're supposed to do. So are you looking into retraining and recertification for the police and also increasing their benefits and stuff so they can be able to do their jobs and increasing their pay so they can stop stopping people in the street and taking money from them for bribe because, you know, they're hungry or they're not getting paid enough money. So are you looking into all of that? Thank you.
So the first thing here, thank you for your questions. Dr. Moniba was going for a job that we have given him the full authority to have access to do everything just mentioned. That job that we have put Dr. Moniba. However, it is my aspiration that all these things that you have mentioned come to fruition. We will make the necessary representation to government to ask for the support for all of the issues that you have raised. I can confirm that we have started exchanges back and forth on benefits for the officers as far as it relates to first and foremost their payment of insurance as per the Police Act, and also their social benefits which should be paid by government as well from the Security Act 2011. So we made the case to government. We're not asking for salary increase right now, but if you can start to pay that one, at least it put a little more money in the pocket. As it relates to the training, we've done a whole detailed analysis of all of the officers we have, how long they've been in the service, how frequently they've had some in-service training. You'll be surprised to know that some people haven't even been to the academy for the last 10 years. So these are things that we are concerned about. But if I had the political will, like you reference your political leader, I would say yes today, let's go ahead and do it. But we're making the necessary representation to ensure that we get funded to be able to deal with that you use this platform. It's not just to hammer me today because you don't know me, but to also hammer this fact that there's a need for us to support our security so that they can be better and perform and deliver their services better to the Liberian people. As it relates to the old lady, my heart is broken for that. I watched the video. We did play-by-play analysis of the video. We've been able to pick up faces of all of those who were on the scene, different screenshots. We've asked those to come in to give information, and the investigation is ongoing. This investigation will only address this effect that this lady went through. But why don't we go beyond it? Why was this lady out there? Why was she left in the street? A safe society is not just to have an effective police. It's the availability of the resources that will provide some level of safety for the old lady that she would not have been to where she was. It's okay to come out and ask the police what they did not do. Beyond that, I mean, it's my hope that these are the things that we will continue to push for, that as society improves, these considerations are made, because if it doesn't happen, we'll address this case, there will be another, and another. So the police is investigating this particular case, but there is a need that a systemic approach in creating safety be taken and not just from the policing standpoint.
Thank
Alofa.
you very much.
Mr. Coleman, thank you again for accepting the invitation to be a part of the closing argument. Quickly before I get into my two questions, what was your previous position in the LNLA government?
I served in various roles within the police. My last assignment was the Inspector General of Police.
Inspector General of Police, and you were replaced by the now, I mean, we will consider past. Um, Based on your assessment, based on what you have seen thus far, upon your ascendancy, describe for me the decision to replace the uh, the previous Inspector General with you. Just describe that decision based on what you saw there and what you left. Just describe that decision.
Well, I that would require a lot because I can't
Well,
translate what's in President Walker's mind to have made that decision. So I'll appreciate if you rephrase the question.
well, I think the question again was based on what you left because you said you served as an inspector general prior in the Ellen Lair government, and then when President Weah came to office, you left office. Now you're back to serve in that same position. So you must have left something there intact. You did a job, a piece of job that you left there for which Honorable Boycott believed that upon your ascendancy to this position again, you can either improve upon it because the fabric of that institution might have been broken to the extent where they could not maintain the inspector general they had in office, so they had to replace him. So I'm asking you now to describe the decision based on what you saw in that in that at that agency. What did you notice? And then based on that, tell us. I think it was a great decision that he was replaced because of my expertise. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm just asking you in general. Describe the decision to have you serving in that position.
Okay, so once again, I will maintain my word. I cannot describe the decision, but as you spoke, I think there are other things in between there that I can speak to. I know you talk about what I left and what I met. Obviously, I mean it was I didn't meet what I I've met the force to wherever it is. One thing I can assure you all of, we have picked it up and we're moving forward. We've gained we've always maintained the full respect of the officers. We have their full commitment, and each and every one of them have been very, very supportive so far in the forward move of LNP.
And I'll close on this, and I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I didn't get a very satisfactory answer to my question. I think you kind of dodge it, but I would attempt in my second question.
Honestly, I have the satisfactory question. You're asking me to describe a decision.
Right,
I can't. Unfortunately, I can't do that for you.
Consider you. I mean, you could probably tell me what you make of that decision based on what you bring to the table, but it's okay. I mean, again, I can't make you to answer the way I want you to answer, which is fair. I will
Okay.
not try to be unbalanced to you. But let me ask the second question to you here would be this: you came in and you're replacing an individual who, based on based on the records that we have, there are several cases on file that Liberians have been concerned about having some kind of resolution to. What mechanisms have you put in place to address some of the concerns of Liberian with the issue of uh, buggery, snatching of purses and other things, just petty thefts where people are often brutalized in the streets. In the case of a young woman who was brutalized in red light, and we are yet to hear anything from that case. There was another case of a young man who died during the elections as the result, allegedly, uh, as a result of elections violence at the expense of a unity party partisan. You said that the the police is not a partisan organization, and I must commend you for that. But what are you doing? What mechanisms are you putting in place to address some of these concerns that Liberians are roaming the streets with, and I'm more concerned about that. Hopefully, I wasn't too lengthy in the question and left you out. But if you want me to repeat, I will do that.
Unfortunately, however, I will try to unpack it. So we're looking at the idea of providing a service for our people, a service to improve safety and to protect lives. Had a lot of features along the way, and I've got a lot of concerns. Those concerns are real, they're sincere, and we have the integrity of an institution to protect as well. So beyond just what people think or what people feel, we are still duty bound to ensure that justice is served. Justice. I mean, if we have cases that we believe were not properly investigated, that could compromise the integrity of the institution, what do? We go back and look at them. We've been able to establish a cold case file unit.
Good.
Case unit is looking into last cases that cause stir in the public, but beyond just the stir, it caused reputational damage for the institution as well. So we're looking into those. We're trying to get the public at a place where we're able to create a relationship, build gain legitimacy with them again, and just to be able to deliver the services that they deserve from a police body. We know that the challenges are there; they're real. The expectations of people are high, but we are working around the clock to ensure that we improve safety and that we meet the demands of the Liberian people.
Thank you.
Keff.
But I was here before you can make Kev. I'm sorry, man. I'm joking. I'm just joking like Kev.
No, man, and for me, okay, Greg, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, for me, I'm not going to, ask that long question. I'll just go straight to the Kinja. What happened there? The killing. Um, we made to understand that protester had guns from what we heard on the social media. I'm not sure is that your position. Well, if that's your position, can you make it clear today and show us something like photo or something? I'm sure you guys will have it to show the protester can enjoy had guns.
Okay, so I'm in between meetings. I took this call. Hopefully, that we're going to start early. But when I get, I'm going to switch off a bit to get in the vehicle to my next meeting, and then I'll come back online. But before I go, let me just the issue of we've conducted an investigation. The report of the investigation is not yet out. It's being sent to another committee for further review before we can release the results of the investigation. However, if you follow the press conference when we informed you, the general public about this situation, there were pictures released. So if you go back to that day, you'll see all of the pictures indicating as much information as we could gather about it in terms of pictures and video as well.
So you're saying there was a picture with guns from the protester? That's what you're saying?
Yes, amongst the photos that were released, we're able to take two drone shots that showed people with artisanal weapons. Yeah, and beyond that, there's also bullet wounds on the officer that's symbolic of the weapons that's in the picture. So I have to jump out right now. Let me before I get late for my next meeting. Once I get in the vehicle, I will reconnect, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Why? I mean, the good thing is the director is in the U.S., so
Right.
we'll definitely
Yeah,
got him. But so far, guys, I mean,
I would
for
love to
me
see that
tonight, I
picture.
wanted to.
Tomalin, I would love to see that picture because he
But
made clear that
he said it, but he said it. He said they have not released the investigation results there, so I don't think he'll be able to show
no,
it.
he also said that some of the pictures that were out there, if we look, we will see with guns. I'm not. I don't know if anybody saw pictures out there with guns. They can, call in or they say something on the live feed, but I don't know. I've not seen that picture yet. But he coming on. I really want to ask him. On
Mr.
I
Russell,
think. Oh,
you have your internet is okay now.
Yes, I'm okay. Yeah, sorry about that, guys, and sorry we had a pretty late start. I know the chief did say that he was running between meetings and all of that, but you are right, Tony. So even if we can get through all of what we need uh, to get to him, all of the questions that we need to ask him, we can always try to get him before he leaves. My understanding is he leaves the first week of April.
okay.
Okay. So,
I mean, my
Mr. Russell, usually when one thing about you I know about you good is that you work with all sides. And whenever anybody, whatever LA administration, the WI administration, people come, especially in Minnesota, you try to use your network. Are you doing the same thing with the Inspector General too?
Yes, I mean, and when he comes on, he may be able to throw some light on that. At the end of the day, it's about the country. So you are absolutely
Yeah.
right, Tomalin. Work very closely. I think I shared pictures with you all. I worked very closely with the former police chief, Patrick Sudu, who gave them some uniforms. We gave them some gear, accessories, bulletproof vests, gun holster, and we did express a strong interest at the city of Brooklyn Park to work with them in helping to train the Liberia National Police, especially senior officers who are in the sort of training area, sort of like the trainer type approach to things. And but they never they didn't follow through on that, and so we did not see that come to pass. But we've had a very long relationship, we meaning the city of Brooklyn Park, because we have such a large Liberian population. Yeah, so we've had a very influential and very great relationship with all of the presidents and administrations. We had, I worked very closely with Jefferson Koji as well. We brought him here and tried to provide some resources to him, and we worked with the mayor of Painesville. We gave them playground equipment to city of Brooklyn Park. So it doesn't matter who is there in power. We try to work with them as closely as we can to leverage, as you said, our connections. Because even though Minnesota is a big state, but we have a large population here. And we have very, very close. The population that is here is very close to the powers that be. So the senators and representative and all the different government entities here. And so we're working very closely with this current police chief, Colonel Coleman, in trying to address some of the capacity building and training and development needs of the police.
Yeah, before me, as the guys come in, Grace asked the director a very important question about training. And like the director said, he met some people that have not been to the academy for over 10 years. And most of us here on this platform, depending on where you work, but no matter where you work, I think every year people do some training. I mean,
every other
CPR,
month. Yeah,
yeah,
every other
some
month.
CPR or something you do, or something, depending on what kind of job you are doing. But people do some training. I mean, I think everybody will do CPR because it's a universal thing. And so I know everywhere, even the corporate world, you do CPR training everywhere. So, but he said that some people for 10 years, I'm not going for training. And I mean, like my late father, or one of those who were privileged to come to the States for training, Firestone sending to Akron, Ohio at the time. So it's always good when you come to the academy here, somewhere in the FBI Academy or somewhere, whatever the Minnesota Police Academy. I mean, are you guys looking in a direction to bring some of our people here for training?
Yes, most definitely. And once we roll it out, we are looking at, like I said, the model that we are developing. And like you correctly said, Tomalin, I'm surprised you're quite abreast as to what we've been doing there. I know you come back and forth. You have relatives here too as well, so I'm not too surprised. But so it's like the same package that we gave to the former police chief, to Patrick Sudu. So it's just a holdover from that, and we're trying to expand it. So what we do is that we will, once it all falls into place, we'll be bringing Liberian police officers to Minnesota to get trained in so many different areas, and the police Chief Coleman can speak directly to that. I don't have any background in law enforcement or in criminal justice, but I mean I'm here, and we have connections here. Having served on the city council, I was one of those who interviewed and hired our current police chief. So the way the system works, as you guys know, the police chief, for example, report to us. So it's not like we have in Liberia where the police chief reports to the president. The police chief reports to us. So I mean, so we have a little bit of influence over that and how that work out. So ultimately, that is what's going to happen, Tomalin. So the folks are going to come from Liberia. As of now, we're looking at 3 months, 3 months duration.
Wow, so that's good.
They will come in for training them in crime investigation, crime scene investigation, SWAT training, civil disobedience, crowd control, and all of these things. So the first batch will come, and then after that, and then the next batch go, and then we bring in another batch. So the idea is that we train them here, and then they'll go back to Liberia and train their colleagues there. So it's going to be the trainer model. That's the approach that we are going to set up. So we'll be training them in bicycle patrol, car patrol, traffic control. I mean, all of those things will be part of the training. But it's all left to the police chief and his staff as to what training they want. But we have overwhelming support from all of the power structures in Minnesota, from the county to the state to the city, but it will be coordinated here in Brooklyn Park, in the Brooklyn Park Police Department, and we'll bring other jurisdictions in because Brooklyn Park doesn't have the capacity to do all those different trainings, so like forensics and all of that. It may be done by a different jurisdiction, so they will just leave from here, but they will be based in Brooklyn Park, and they will be coordinated out of the Brooklyn Park Police Department.
I have a question, Tomalin. I want to ask Mr. Russell. I understand when you say that, but sometimes, usually, some of us look at it, we have a little bit of problem with that. Now, I understand if you're saying that they're bringing the people who's supposed to be trained to go back and train the other people on the ground, because our people, they will be looking forward now to coming here. And we just want training to be, done in Liberia as well, the environment. And it would be so beautiful if we can have these people who training people, especially the Americans, to go back to Liberia too and be able to train our people in their location and where they are. And that's one of the things that we're looking forward to. But there are trainings and there are recertifications, and there are the recertification someone mentioned, like, the how they call it, CPR and stuff. Those are recertification trainings. But we're talking about the regular manual training that Lofa Julius actually said, the monthly ones. Our people need to be consistently trained every month, that they can go and do training, like safety training and emergency evacuation, how to evacuate a place when it's emergency, and employee conduct. Those little trainings that will help them on a regular monthly basis. It's like you singing a song, the song starts to stick in your mind that this is your conduct, your employee. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to be taking money for people in the traffic. You're not supposed to just need somebody to arrest and then you beat them up. No, you have to investigate the matter. Make sure this, and these are the other little trainings that we are talking about. And that why I asked that question to him, and that's why I want to ask you if there's a possibility that maybe the people who come in who will be the head, like the supervisors that will be trained here, but is there a possibility that the Americans too can find a way to go to Liberia and train our people in the environment so that more people can be trained instead of the ones that will come here and go back and that's just it. Thank you.
Thanks, Grace. So, as the saying goes, beggar can be choosy, right, or something like that, right? So we did explore that possibility during Patrick Sudu's administration. When he was here, we met with the fire chief and the police chief. We had a very high-level meeting with them, and they were committed too. But he
Excuse
told
me,
me,
the RG is backstage. The RG is backstage.
Okay. Oh, he's back now?
That's why
No,
he's backstage.
He's backstage where?
no, he's not.
He just texted us.
He wrote it in the chat room. That's why. Yeah, but he probably went back off. So
Okay.
And when you guys see you, bring anybody see you, bring him on.
Yeah, when I see him, I'll bring him in. Okay.
yeah, he's there.
So, Kev, you continue your question.
Okay, that if he come on, yeah.
He's on. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were answering the question on the that was my first question on the
On the situation.
they can draw the picture on the pictures. You say you got
Yeah. So Kev, there were pictures released that day. One of the pictures, I think there were two pictures that showed some of the rioters, two of the rioters with weapons, and consistent with that were wounds on I think two of the officers as well, who were sent to JFK for treatment. So the pictures are online. You can check them up.
Okay. My second question is on the asset recovery, right? Folks who on the streets, stopping cars and all that. The police chief, you authorize them to do that, or is strictly from the mansion to do that? You got nothing to do with it, or you should be the one authorizing your guys to be on the street asking for documents and all that stuff.
Well, as part of the asset management team, the police has a representation that body. We held a series of meetings, including meetings yesterday, led by the Deputy Inspector General for Operations, realigning our support and having proper operational and everything for smooth execution.
Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, it is legal for what the asset recovery team doing on the street without the police assistance. It is legal.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know exactly what you're referencing about their action. So, I mean, if it's something specific police related that you want me to speak to, please go directly to Kev.
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to ask, because I know the police should stop folks asking them for their document, the papers, especially the taxi drivers. I think it's police work. I'm just asking, are they doing your work? It is legal, or they have the authority to do that? That's what I'm asking, because of stopping taxi, public transportation, stopping and asking them for the document. Because I
So,
think
Kev,
it's one of the,
as you may be aware, because I think I heard Winfred referencing some of our meetings we've held here over the last few days. I am in the U.S. on a working visit to seek support in different regards out here. Whatever operational issues that may have arrived from that, I'm sure the deputy for administration who is acting is definitely on top of it. But as soon as I'm briefed about how this exercise that you're referencing was conducted, I mean, we're looking to see if there were any operational mishaps. But for now, provide support for them. We all have our own rules. So it is my hope that my guys play their role ably well. And if there's any overlapping of functions, it can be corrected and will be corrected immediately.
okay.
Chairman.
Let me ask. Look, IG is good. So my question has to do with before I go into the hard ones. Because I want us to talk a little bit more about King Jaw, because I thought it was a little blind spot so early. But let me ask you specifically about the force that you inherited, right? There's a lot of people who say, well, we should do, and I hear my colleagues also saying it as far as training, but also what I want us to realize, first of all, what's your budget? What's the police in the proposed budget? What is the police, what was allocated for you guys? Do you know off the top of your head?
There's an allocation of 18 point, a little over 18.5 that was given in the envelope, but there's been some adjustments made for some increase. I don't have the actual numbers yet, but I'm sure once that is completed, we will be probably somewhere around 20 million, out of which about 16 plus, because if we're now adding on 2 classes, which is almost 600 plus officers. So that's going to put another a burden on wages, almost $1 million in addition to what is being paid. So when that is done, we might be looking at 16.5, somewhere around there in salaries, and the rest for operations. So let's put it somewhere around 3-4 million if the increase is given after it all passes.
Wow. So let me ask you. Let me ask you. Are you going to be able to run the police force on three point something million dollars?
Well, we will do exactly what we're able to do. We're going to manage as much as we can. We will do as much as we're able to do with what is given. We'll use smarter means to maximize whatever resources is given to us. Whether it's given or not, people demand a service, and that service has to be provided. So we're hoping that we can be given at least something comparable to be able to deliver the service, but we'll be forced to work within what will be provided. And that's why I'm out here networking, trying to look for more resources to be able to support whatever government gives to be able to deliver those services.
Okay. All right. So that leads me to a question of morale, right? For some reason, we've been able to get the army, right, or at least up until the army wife situation, there was this perception out there that the army is more professional, they're more trained. There's this perception out there that the army is totally different from the police, right? In regards to training, professionalism, all of that. What is the current morale of the Liberian National Police, the one you inherited? And can you give us an estimation of a total number of police officers currently in the country right now?
So, the morale is based on the citizens' response. And as you can see, trust and legitimacy is very, very low. You have mob violence on the increase. These are all indicators that people do not believe in the system. They do not trust the system, which by extension reaches the officers. So that in itself, I mean, it speaks to the fact that morale of the officers of the entire service is low, and the trust level is extremely low as well. And that's why we're trying to embark on different mechanisms that will improve accountability and transparency in our actions so as to get people believing once again in our ability to deliver. But I mean, it is a serious challenge right now. The police, as we stand right now, we are sworn officers about 5,000 plus sworn officers, and we have about almost 1,000 civilian staff as well, performing different functions that support the workings of the police.
Okay. All right, Tomalin, can I sneak one last one in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, IG, when you
Yes, sir.
recently when you took over, the president dedicated a police a booth at the which junction was it? Was it at
SKD Boulevard Junction.
Boulevard Junction, exactly. You want to talk to us about that project? Was that a government-funded project? I've heard different stories about that project. That you guys, this is a pilot phase. There's going to be thousands of them across the country. Can you talk to the country about what that project is, and was that a government-funded project?
So no, it's not a government-funded project.
Okay.
It is in our quest to improve police presence all over the country. We've been able to determine areas where we need continuous presence and to have some representation 24/7. And that's how we're able to identify all of these different places. There's a public-private partnership. All the booths that you see are all donations thus far, but we've developed a full project, and the group that we're working with, they're out there looking for funding for us to be able to expand it. We will have a few more deployed within the next few weeks, but the project is all we're engaging different donors. We've been able to make sufficient representation for support of it because it is a very, very necessary project to increase police presence and to be able to respond adequately to crimes in different areas. So to help with the traffic issue as well.
So it's a PPP. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, PPP with the Savvy Group.
With the Savvy Group. Okay.
Winfrey, you want to chime in quickly before?
Yeah, thank you. And it's great having you, Chief Coleman. Finally, you were to find the time to join us here. So we really, really, really appreciate you and know how busy you are. My first question is that I know there are a number of things that you've been pushing through, like the whole situation with the tricycles and the motorcycles and all of that, and setting up different parameters as to where they can go and where they can't go and all of those things. Now, how closely does your department or the police department work with the Ministry of Transportation? Because I know in this country, for example, the Ministry of Transportation and the police work very closely together. I mean, they work hand in hand. So one of the things that I noticed when I was recently in Liberia is that there were a lot of cars plying the streets without license plate. And my understanding the law in Liberia calls for a license plate, a vehicle license plate to be in the front and the back of the car. But that is not the case. So how closely are you working, or are the police working with the Ministry of Transportation to rein in folks who, because that's, you talked about the size of your budget and how small it is. I mean, Brooklyn Park, for example, is a city of about 90,000 people. our budget is almost $75 million. So not having not having revenue from those cars flying the streets, at least that's a lot of opportunity to generate some revenue, not necessarily for the police, but for the entire system that the police could benefit from that too as well. So that would be my first question.
Okay. Before I even take your question, Winfrey, I want to say a big thanks to you for all of the support that you continue to give the Liberian people. All of the support you're currently giving the LNP, it means a lot and it will go a very, very long way. Thanks for all of the contacts, the different connections that you've been able to establish, and the outcome that we're hoping to see working together. The Minister of Transport and I personally, we have an excellent relationship, and we share a lot of thoughts in how we believe it should all be conducted as far as revenue generation and building a culture of safety in Liberia goes. We have had series of meetings. We are now planning some operational support for enforcement. Vehicles with all license plates, they're being drivers are being arrested, people are being ticketed, vehicles are being impounded, and it's not just the license plate. It's just that complete and disregard of anything about safety. Everybody has been concerned more about motorcycles and keke, but all the road users have got some serious issues, and we are trying to address them. We're increasing our enforcement in different areas, different ways. We're not just using the traditional method where we just put a roadblock and pull people over. There's been cases where vehicles parked, we've ordered tow truck to just come and pick them up and carry them, and it's ongoing. So if you notice, that is reducing. Even though some of them they're putting plates that are not registered, but when we find the ones that are registered, we go after it. We go after it as well. So there's just multiple layers that we are peeling off to ensure that we're able to provide that level of safety that's needed.
Thank you, and I hope that extends to the lawmakers too. I mean, I know you're going to be politically correct about answering this, but I mean, my experience is in being in Liberia, that it just seems like the lawmakers, people who make the laws, they're the ones who are notoriously violating the laws. I mean, what are the traffic laws and all of that? So it's I hope that it's not just the common people. Maybe all are pulling over. And
Councilman, our enforcement is not segregational. It applies to all road users. As long as the lawmakers, government officials are using the road, it applies to them. So there's no excuse. Once you're on the road, let them fly.
Okay, I thank you. I referenced the project that we be working together on here in helping to build the capacity and do some training and development. So one concern that folks have had, and they've mentioned it. I mean, our viewers and listeners, they've mentioned this in the chat, and maybe you can address that and maybe talk a little bit about it. I know we talked about it during our meetings, and that is what sort of strategy? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, maybe you can talk about it all year, but but what are you going to do? Because a lot of people think that this is not. You bring these folks here, they were not going to go back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you hear me?
Nah, he might have been interrupted.
I wanted to put Grace's question to him too as well. I mean, part of what she asked me to at least he can help.
That's part of the reason why when you leave Liberia, leave everything about Liberia in Liberia. The network. Well, anyway, he's in Little Liberia to Minnesota, so it's all right.
No, he's not in Minnesota. You know what I mean? And he's not in.
Where he's at? Where is he?
He's in DC.
Oh, okay.
Are
I'm
you
sorry.
kidding me?
I thought he was in Little Liberia. I'm sorry.
And so that's why. And so that.
Well,
But Mr. Russell, I wanted
go
to
ahead.
ask you quickly. I saw people making flower with me already, saying that I don't want the other people to come to America. I'm already here in America, but the police people never brought me here. But they were making flower with me because you said the people will come for training, and I said that I like for them to be trained in the environment as well, on a bigger scale. And then you said you were going to look into that, but we were begging as Liberians, so to bring some people here to get trained and go and train the other people back. So, what measures are you guys having to put in place when these people come so they don't remain here? They have to go back to Liberia because we have the tendency Liberians, as I heard, I never saw it happen, but plenty of people said they brought Liberians here and they never went back.
Well, and I wanted to the chief to chime in. Maybe when he gets back on, he can I speak about that in much greater detail. But we did talk about it. It did come out in all of the conversation we've been having. But back to your first question, we did, and as I started to say before the chief came on, during Patrick Sudu's administration, when we met with him, that was one of the first things I would put on the table with the police here, to get a team of folks to go back to Liberia to train them there, to train the folks there, because we've done it for the fire department. The fire, for example, took about 9 trainers from here and went to Liberia and trained the fire service folks there. But again, so I don't know our situation. But Grace, after those people were trained, as soon as the folks left, they went back to square one. So even taking the people there and training them, the fire. I mean, with Brooklyn Park Fire, people came from all over the country. They're part of that program, went there to train the Liberian National Fire Service folks, and it went back to square one. So
but are they doing drills? Are they doing, because when you train the people, they have to actually do monthly drills so they can continue to remember what they train.
So all of that, there's stuff. So the leaders came here, and then we went there, and the fire folks went there and trained them. But back to your question again, before we get off tangent, but I just wanted to put that, as some sort of context to answering your question. So what the police told us here is that it would be extremely expensive to take these folks from here and send them to Liberia, the police, to train the people at the academy there. So bringing the folks here was a much cheaper option. Okay, so that's why we opted for that. But we did bring it up, and they said that it will be much cheaper. So it was not a matter of them coming to America. I didn't want them to come to America. But that was what seemed much more plausible, cheaper, and it would be much faster because people have different times scheduled. Because these folks will have to take time off work, and all of that to go there. So that's why we opted for this train-the-trainer model where they're going to come, and the whole idea is that they're going to come get trained. The first batch, 15 in each cohort. After they train, they're going to go back, and then another group is going to come. And then the senior leadership, they're going to be annual training. I mean, that's what we're setting up, and we're hoping that that's going to work. But we did consider all of that, and as far as if they're going to stay, I mean, the chief has some ideas and all of that, but that was also a concern that we brought up. So he's working with he can speak more authoritatively about it, but we're working with, or he is. And the government is working with the embassy in Liberia, the U.S. Embassy, the U.S. State Department, because at this level we don't deal with visa situations and all of that. So they're going to try to manage and control that part of it, that aspect of it. So those who are going to come, they're going to ensure that they go back. So how that is going to work out, I'm not sure, but it is something that is front and center of the conversation.
So Russ, let me chime in here. Tomalin, unless you have something else to say, I want some clarification on a couple of things here. But Tomalin, if you got something to say, I'll wait till you come through.
No, go ahead.
Great. Okay. So Russell, I'm assuming that prior to you guys going through all of these conversations or these negotiations, you must have done some evaluation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and based on your evaluation, where did you found to be the weakest link? And well, let's start with that first. Where did you found to be more problematic when it comes to security, especially with the police in Liberia?
I mean,
I really wanted to ask the IG that, but
yeah, I mean, the IG can speak to to that, because
okay,
we're just on the side and
you're
tell
just
us what
supporting that.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is the need.
and the thing, the reason why I'm asking that question, which I'm gonna hold back, and that's why I kind of started off my questions with inquiring on his view on the decision made to have him to replace his predecessor, because you must have in any job, if you're replacing someone within the first month or so, you have already noticed, okay, some of the weakness in that position, and how you can impact that position or that institution, so that you can, if your neck is below the water, you can raise your head above the water, at least to get some fresh air. And that's why the question was, I just want to know what did he make of it, because if you are to compare the, the previous IG to that of the current IG, not just based on 10, we can't say he only been there for a few months, because remember, he actually occupied that position previously, and he left in tight, if I would say in quotation, in tight, something to work offer. So I'm just concerned to see where is he starting, and what mechanisms is he putting in place to elevate the entire process when it comes to citation. I heard him mention citation. How are you citing people? Are you just manually writing out tickets and handing them out to people? And if so, how are these citations documented? How are they supported even at the level of the clerk of court? Okay, how are we accounting for these citations when payments are made? How are these things? I mean, you look on ticket numbers. So I just hope that he will come back, because I'm more concerned about structure. It appears as though everything is literally out of whack when it comes to the issue of implementation, especially when it comes to citation in Liberia and the rule of law. It appears as though most of the officers are not well equipped when it comes to understanding the law and the application of the law, because they probably have not been well trained to actually understand what is happening. So for that reason, they simply just go based off of, I'm a police officer, you are to listen to me or else I could arrest you. And they're not actually following what is really expected of them. But I really hope that the IG could come back so some of the questions can be clarified, because I know a lot of Liberians who leave from here and go back to Liberia, they're wondering, if I'm cited, where do I go to make my payment? Like, if I'm to go to Liberia and I'm given a ticket, I'm not expecting a police officer to take cash from me in the street. I'm not looking to go. I mean, I could go get my court date, go to court, make my payment if I want to, or don't have to attend court. I just want to know what process are being put in place. And even if that is part of his responsibility, again, I'm not a law enforcement officer. I have no idea about these things, but I know I have trained a lot of these individuals on various technology. So I interact with them a lot. But again, I'm saying I just want to know that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can speak to that. So they identified the need, so they're going to tell us what the need. I mean, the need there, and that's just, some of the needs I've expressed it to you all here on the show. I mean, they were looking at a crowd control training, and crowd control training around SWAT training, crime scene investigation training, traffic control, bicycle patrol. So they told us the kind of training, what they were lacking with to build the capacity in all the different areas and stuff like that. So based on that, that's the sort of training package that we are putting together to respond to the need that they have there, on the ground. So how they came up to this need and the areas that need to be strengthened. the chief would be the best person to speak to those issues.
Oh, okay, Winfred. Since he's in the States, he had the first. Any day next week, besides because Monday we're having the CDC chairman. So, but any day next week, if you can find any day next week, we can host him. Any days next week, we can host him. A lot of questions the Liberian people want to know, who want to call in to argue with him too. So, since I know he's in meeting in Washington D.C., which is a good thing he's doing for the country, and I like the issue about the crime lab in our country, like the police crime lab. It's very important because most of the time when there's an issue about death, about mysterious death, people like issue with that girl. What her name? The girl, Princess, the girl who got killed.
Princess Cooper.
I was at the Ministry of Information that day when the pathologist were making his report, and people questioned because there were no forensic stuff, nothing from the crime lab to justify to support his argument. So the director will be the best. I mean, hopefully we're hoping. So I hope you can help us anytime from Tuesday next week. We'll host him. So but
April 1st is on Monday.
Monday is the
first.
The first. Oh, but then so
he leaves on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, but
so if you get on the first, then no, but somebody else coming here.
Yeah, but you think tomorrow he'll be available?
I can find it for him. I can find it for him.
You'll be back in Minnesota by tomorrow, right? Yeah, yes. You found it for him. I mean, we got tomorrow or Sunday set, no problem. Just because of the director of police,
right?
We can do it also on the program.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it would be beneficial to Liberians around the world because I mean the conversation is about safety, security, and I think Liberians would love to hear from the man in control. As far as there's so many things that are happening in Liberia, you just can't take it for granted, and we have the opportunity to engage the inspector general. Hopefully, he can kind of get us some information as to what those of us, just the ordinary people, what can we do to help in the process? Because security is not just one person's responsibility. I know those individuals walk with the badge and everything else, but security is applied based on everybody's, contribution. Let us say it that way, and we expect everybody to be a part of the process. But we cannot simply go beyond the expectation until we can get to know the man who have the security mind, and he can tell us where are some of the faults, the strength, and then where we find the weaknesses, we can actually apply some support to make sure that they can beef up the need for support in Liberia. I think that's it so far, but hopefully he can come back. If he doesn't come back,
they're trying to see if we can do a Sunday. Depending on what, because he will be leaving tomorrow Saturday. He should be leaving tomorrow evening. I know he has a meeting in DC as well tomorrow. As well. But we try to see if we can get on Sunday and see what we can do to make it happen. But so far we've seen.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully he will be able to come here. But I just wanted to know if you have any idea, do they have a license to carry in Liberia, like for, individuals like us? We have license to carry in America. So when we get in Liberia, we want to protect ourselves, just for protection. Do they offer license to carry in Liberia as well?
Yeah, my understanding is yes, they're working on that. I think I'm not sure if it's going through now, but I do know of a few folks who have a license to carry. But the chief, obviously, would speak to that. But I do know.
So in that regards, I don't know whether I think they're doing it based on their own discretion. I don't think there's a legislation in place that authorize people to right. I don't think there's a law in place.
I know in the past, as I know, the Minister of Justice, you could apply to carry a permit, and it's a process. But I don't know what because of the war, everything happening. But Hopefully, but again, like I said,
currently, whether there
hope
is one, that's something I don't know if it's in, because I know I have.
Hope Winfrey, I hope he can arrange for the Sunday so he can appear on Sunday. We'll be willing to host him. So let me some progress. But guys, I mean, today there was a protest at the executive mansion. I don't know. I heard that there was a protest, and let me see, government workers protest at the executive mansion as President Boga sacked over 700 ministers of state employees.
I'll try to put it up for you. There's people watching for themselves. Before they say that, they said we don't want trying to instigate trouble in Liberia.
Yeah, but I don't know. Grace, you heard anything about that protest? Ben.
Oh, Tomalin, I'm so busy today. I didn't even hear anything.
What's that?
Yeah, anything about that protest today at the executive mansion? What are the protests about?
Well, I mean, I think they said something that has to do with people being laid off. But in all fairness, look, people need to stop this craziness about destroying properties and yeah, I mean, I saw the pictures. They broke the glass at the executive mansion. I mean, it's total madness. You know, people, they should be arrested. Even if people, there's a way you can seek redress. We don't live in a gangster paradise. You know, government. If the government say they want to lay you off, there's ways you can seek redress. And you know, but for you to go start breaking tables and breaking, I mean, the whole country is just going mad. You know, the whole country is just going mad.
The government has the right to lay people off.
Yeah, how do you go and break glasses and break tables at the executive mansion because you say they're trying to lay you off? I mean, yeah, I know it makes politics. People will want to say, oh yeah, you know, they promised to rescue the people, but this is the same reason why we're in the problem we're in Liberia. Because I had during the war, we were rooting up wires from under the ground, we're taking commodes from in. We destroy everything in Liberia. We're looking at light poles and shooting them. People are looking at light poles and shooting them. And then we wonder why we are where we are today in the country. We wonder what the mindset in that country is just appalling. I mean, I can't begin to put words to it. When I saw it, I was
the man on there, your mood is stopped now.
What's that? Oh, you know, when I saw it, I was very disappointed. Right, I sympathize with them. I mean, you know, if there's another way, the government can figure out a way to incorporate them. But just for the record, listen, I think the government should find ways on how they can accommodate or figure out how they can deal with this thing, because at the end of the day, the government is the largest employer in the country. It's not supposed to be that way, but that's how it is. But I'm telling you, it is totally unacceptable for people to have a disagreement or a qualm, and you go and you destroy properties, and it's your tax dollars. You know, that's the twisted mindset of Liberians. You destroy government property, you the one paying for it, because at the end of the day, it's your taxes that bought those properties. So when you see people breaking glasses at the executive mansion, it is wrong. It should not have happened. It should not happen. And let them find other ways to seek redress. This notion that every time we got a problem in the country, we burn things, we break things up, we bust glass. I mean, it's like a gangster paradise, and we need to stop as a society. We really do.
Seriously, I haven't seen the video, but I'm disappointed what I'm hearing that there was probably destruction. I think is wrong. I mean, I agree. I mean, if what I'm hearing, I hope it's just not taking people from the former, those who were partisans of CDC or of other political parties who did not support the UP. I hope that they're not being targeted and removed from their jobs. If that's the case, then it's a problem. But that doesn't mean that they should take the law in their hands. I think there's a way to address it. That, for instance, take for example, the people with the tenure issue. When they had a problem, they went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court intervened. Then also with the asset recovery, when they seized the people's vehicles, I just got information today that I saw a document where the former director of police car was released to him today. He's clear his documentation. But even at that, they shouldn't have even embarrassed that man, because these people are doing a police job, which was the one right thing they were doing. Even the taxes that was seized, that was impounded, they returned it to the owner. I mean, and as I said again, I repeat, and I told the asset recovery chairman, I told him, I said, I do not support. I mean, I support the asset recovery in issue, but not the way you guys are doing it. And some of you guys should not even be on our committee, because the same people that are on the committee, they are there attacking they're still on Facebook attacking those they should be going after for to retrieve their property. I mean, in the legal way, you're attacking them still. So tell me, you can't have a vendetta against me, and you want to come after me for my property or so forth. Then you're trying to say we are checking for documents, or what are you? I mean, who are you? Are you that Kev asked the question? Are you a policeman to be asking this kind of question of people? And then you meet up somebody who is arrogant. He said, okay, I'll give you you don't carry my card, and what you do? You also then start fighting. Next thing is a whole commotion. So I think it's wrong, and it should not be doing that. But again, like I said, the budget is before the legislature. On Monday, they returning to the Capitol. The president he called them. He called them back to Capitol building to discuss the budget for next 30 days. And I think I say again, somebody already saying that they will not put money in the budget for asset recovery. I've seen pictures around asset recovery guys are already having the big meals.
Tomalin, that's part of Liberia's problem. The biggest problem that Liberia faces is the fact that we put people in positions who are simply individual with loud mouth, and nothing to support their utterances. When you come in, you're loud and you're using all these political jargons. You are now considered smart and overly educated. So they grab you and throw you somewhere, knowing very well that you're not ready, you're not prepared, you have no experience. And this is why we continue to go downwards as compared to going up. I listened to Ben spoke of people reaction. These are the kind of reactions that people will get when you're in gangster's paradise, because people we elect, people who we expect to act accordingly, are going contrary to what is expected. When people promise certain things to the general public and they refuse to implement those things, the people are left vulnerable. And again, they're left with the mindset of just being gangsters. It's almost like a child who was raised in a home, disgruntled home. That child end up in the street. You're not going to blame the child, holistically. That child bears part of the responsibility as to why he or she may be out there. But let's look at the parents, though. Should we not hold the parents liable for that child being out there, or for those kids being out there? Let's look at these lawbreakers that we reference all the time, who's supposed to be in the positions to represent the people's interests. What are they doing? Look at the likes of Amara Kone. All right? Look at these people. They lie to the people. When we come, we will declare and publish our asset. Now he can only declare but cannot publish it. It's a big deal for him. Look at President Joseph Boakai. He came with transparency idea. He can only declare but not publish his assets. What sort of nonsense are we supposed to be teaching these young people who are supposed to be in government? Can you teach any of these young people transparency? That was Delon. Now, eventually, he looking to run in Grand Bassa County. He should have been the light. How can we actually transform Liberia with the mindsets that everyone goes to government to get something? Now you have Alpha Diga, who's supposed to be an IT man. Now he knows more about security. He can give advice about drugs and all of the nonsense. How are we supposed to move Liberia forward? You know nothing simply because your brother worked in the security sector. You can give advice. How are we supposed to really move an entire nation? Population of 5 or so million. Is it all about job? What about the next generation of people whom we're literally going to leave Liberia with? Some of us don't have much more to stay on earth. Okay? God's willing, we probably may stay longer. But what is it that we have to give for our presence here? Nothing. Everybody's selfishly seeking their own interests. That's why people will react the way they react. But if we had government officials who were representing the interests of the people, I can tell you vast majority of these behaviors, these hooligans or notorious behavior probably will be quarantined. It will be limited. But it's unfortunate that there aren't people to represent the interests of the people. So the people feel like we got to take these things. Let me say this. I'm not in agreement with breaking down homes or properties that belong to us. I disagree with that.
I enjoy, I can tell you enjoy Lofa. He can justify for all the things that people doing that he can kind of say, but I don't agree with it.
I agree with that.
I'm not trusting.
No, but but he's right, Ben. I mean,
no. I just enjoy. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying he gave a little prop to the people. Then he come out and say,
I'm learning from you. I'm learning from you, Ben.
The culture of
Grace coming.
No, that before Grace coming, I have some information about her about the gun. So I'm hearing that there is a bill that is working its way through the national legislature, the Liberian Congress, for folks to be able to carry. So that law has not passed yet, but you'll be vetted.
Even once to be able to carry. What do you mean?
Huh? Yeah. To be able to.
Bill for that one too, in Liberia.
Yeah, conceal and carry. But you can currently you can register a shotgun, but not a Glock or.
The people in the villages will go to conceal and carry. The people.
No. I'm not talking about the shotgun that.
You can do shotgun, but you can't do 9mm.
Grace, are you a gun owner in America?
Yes, I have license to carry. You try me, I will.
Where do you live? Where do you live, Grace?
I live in Central Pennsylvania, New York. I have it for years.
No,
I'm shooting and everything. Yeah.
Remember, I'm your Benjamin. I you know how I'm going with my question. You just say you try me.
In Minnesota, there are a lot of Liberians who conceal and carry. There are a lot of people.
Yeah.
No, but in Liberia, on a serious note, though, I'm blaming Grace too low. In Liberia, every time I travel Liberia, I make sure I get my when I'm moving my Harikoi, my pepper spray, and my taser. But it's in my head. They go the last trip. They stole my phone, but the security who are with me, you know how to be fought. So the
security stole your phone.
No, I mean the crowd. What they can do? What they can do? They can come and prepare. They can put a hand around the ring, say they're protecting you. Mind you, while they're doing that stuff, somebody there put the hand in your pocket. At one point, another guy said, "What you do in my pocket?" My phone was gone. Look, these guys are so smart. But again, you really need that pepper. You need something protection because you won't find yourself in a place where you some dark isolated place alone. You won't do that on the highway. You're going to hang out somewhere. You go people, don't go alone. But when in Liberia, highly outside, so the whole thing because by the time you go somewhere,
to protect ourselves in Liberia as well. This is the 21st century. It's just the right thing to do, to have the license to carry, especially with the crime rate in any country. Regardless of the crime rate, at least you have to be able to protect yourself. But I wanted to come in on this whole thing where Benjamin Sanvee was saying concerning the people protesting. I agree with you, Ben. I agree.
Okay, because when you call my phone in I can know you that trouble coming.
I agree with you, Benjamin Sanvee. Look, Liberians, y'all gotta get a haircut. If people get laid off all the time. They gave you a termination letter. I'm not speaking for Joseph Waga government here, but we're here to speak the truth. This thing that you're going destroying the country while the people trying to fix the country is just so sad. People get laid off all this time. The people write you a termination letter. A new government come in, they got a right to terminate you if they want to terminate you. They can terminate you. They don't have to have any substantial reason. Maybe they just think you will not be able to work under their government at the particular time in certain position. They have the right. They do. So you're not going to, if you want to protest, you protest for your compensation and maybe your benefits. What benefits after when I get laid off here? I'm supposed to still have that benefit. Depends on what they have the benefits they have for you in that particular position. But the power you think that when the people the government lay off, then you say, oh no, we got right to be to the job. It's very unfair. We're fighting for 10 new positions on this platform day and night. And then we can't come in and say, oh, Joseph Baka government get it right to lay people off. That's wrong. You can protest. You're free to protest, but the power you got to go to our government institutions and government entities and start to destroy things. You don't do that. I hope
let me Grace, let me come in on that one.
But why you interrupting?
Sorry. Yeah, you see, we got a very.
You want to interrupt the woman?
Grace said she was done. Grace said she was done.
I never say I was done. I never say I was done.
Okay, go ahead, Grace.
The woman said she was done.
Hey, you too nice, Grace.
I mean, I can pick up on Grace when she's here, when she's about to be done.
The woman didn't say she was done. Then he interrupted the woman. He said, I don't want to interrupt you. I will talk when you finish.
There's no fire reading my mind. Oh, you don't want to read.
Ben, is there a
wait, Tomalin, please don't change the topic. I wanted that.
Is there a video for that protest? Is there a video for that protest?
No, I saw pictures. I didn't see a video.
There is a video. I'm trying to find the video.
But let me come in.
No, I'm not saying here before you come in. Your performance on the job, when you're in a certain job position, your performance will determine when a new government comes in, the poll will go on your record to find out, okay, the person performing right, we'll keep them here or we'll decide to let them go. The people can decide to let you go. What you fight for at this point in time, if they don't give you your benefits and your compensation, what is supposed to give you at that time, if your job or position requires that, then you can say, okay, we'll protest, but you can protest, let a protest be free of violence. You can get in the street and protest, that's your right. That's your constitutional right, but you cannot destroy things, and that's when the police will come in and with pepper spray you, because it's not right for you to do that. Like, bro, it's not gangster paradise. Our country being too much chaos already. We're supposed to be a peaceful nation at this point in time, because we saw what the chaos brought us, how we suffer in the war, and how we lost our family members. Us can't even find them anymore. We don't want all that stuff. Everything now you will protest. I jump in on this one. Can you imagine me when let protest? I tell you, say no. You shouldn't be. You can protest, but you don't destroy the country. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead now. Grace. You know, you're a fair person on the show, but don't. I think maybe Ben. I think Ben just corner you a little bit. You know why? You know what happened, Grace? The folks at the mansion. He said there was 300 ghost lists. Let me just bring you up to speed. So they were taking out ghost lists. Those folks that you saw protesting, they had a ghost they were talking about. Cornelius Christ said ghost list. So they went and cleared the ghost list. So the people appear and say, we're not ghosts. We are workers. And that's what you saw. So it's not just firing people because of that. It's the way they went after it. They talk about ghost lists. So they were clearing ghost lists. So they were not firing them based on the job performance.
So what are you trying to say?
Or they're trying to clear the place. Maybe they want to lay you off. Yeah, every job they can lay you off. But if you come in the name of ghost lists and just take people out like that, and the ghosts appear.
So do you support them breaking the mansion?
Yeah, I don't
think no, Ben, that's not what I'm talking about.
That's an issue. No. I'm talking to Grace.
For me, that is the issue. I'm not saying that.
Guys, I'm speaking to Grace because Grace said that.
Oh, so you're talking to us. Oh, so you're not talking to us.
Okay, so we can't talk to
you. Listen. You cannot break the mansion that our government.
Oh, God. Jesus.
I will not support you breaking a place that our government fixed. No, we fix it. So we would have to.
You get out of that money. You get money, but I am pressing up money.
I say our government. I ain't call individual name. I say our government.
Go ahead. Okay.
This
Unlike
is your
the
government too, now.
government who have budget
And
lines.
our government too, all of us.
Yeah.
So the Liberian people government.
Thank you.
But the problem is they will not find them because of job performance or budgets, something. They say it's a ghost list. The past government had a lot of ghost lists to steal money. So they will claim ghosts, ghosts on the list.
They were saying that the people don't exist.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So
the poor appear to okay.
So
The people appear now. We not ghosts.
So as a chairman,
that's the thing that.
Can you condemn them for breaking the glass and the chairs and stuff like
Yes,
that?
Listen. Let me say this: no protest should damage property.
Thank you.
Good. Okay.
No protest.
That's what we want to know.
For me,
that's my issue.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what go against you. You should not damage property. Because one of the thing is, one of the sick part, like people like Peabody who shoot Lepo, like Ben said, crying, telling the world that this president not doing this.
I never call Peabody.
But I didn't shoot Lepo. I mentioned the Lepo. So that's what we're talking about. But you should not damage property. Even in America, in our Black community, we're struggling with that. And Russell can talk about. We're struggling with that. That we cannot break the mom and pop store because we're protesting against cop killing our people. We can't do that. We cannot do that. But we should protest.
In support of.
Wait. Lofa, sorry. I just want to ask you one question. Kev, do you support the people's right to protest? Do you support protests?
Yes, because it's in our constitution.
When people are
say that again.
Now you support protest, right?
I always support protests.
You support protest during CDC,
I always support protests.
You supported the June protest?
You support that? You support that one protest?
Let me get it straight. Let me get it straight. June 7 protests were based on lies. How can I support protests on lies?
What are you talking about?
You support protests. You support protests.
No.
Relive June 7.
Listen, I cannot. Mr. Russell, I cannot support protests that somebody go to your home, right? And you paying your mortgage, your home, and protest that, Russell not paying
you said
no, I cannot support. I cannot support protests.
I swear, protest doing for.
Are you a contact
let's say this, right? The protests were based on 16 billion.
That's not true, Kev. That is not true.
That was a lie.
That is not true.
That was the issue to raise.
That is not true. The 16 billion had a full protest.
Went on the street because of 16
billion.
That
is not true. Stop saying that.
That was a lie.
Did you support the retire rally?
Say that again.
Did you support the retire rally?
The retire suffering rally.
Retire suffering.
I cannot support a
what kind of protest you support that?
I cannot support the rally. I cannot support a rally. I don't support rally. I don't support a rally that the theme of the protest is surrounded by lies. I can't.
Kev, what about the July 20? The July 26 protest?
You will never support any protest.
The university student where they beat the young man. I think was it July 26 or something like that.
Yeah, it was July 26. That's
right. When the young man was beaten, did you support that protest?
Listen, you see, you got to follow. What happened at that protest, right? Our government came out and condemned it. So we condemn.
I asked you a question. I didn't ask you
what happened to.
I didn't ask you to condemn. I asked you a question. I said, did you support the protest of those young men and women to have gathered in the streets?
I did not follow why they were protesting for.
Jesus.
what they were protesting for.
Okay, you did not
I
follow.
saw the action. I saw the action.
Ben, gentlemen, ladies
That's
and
what they were
gentlemen,
protesting for.
ladies and gentlemen, the president had an interview with, man, Kelabo, check your inbox, man. You got a link there. Man, you got a link there. You want me? But ladies and gentlemen, how to call it? The president had an interview with BBC, right? And the president,
I want to take the first stab at that interview, please.
Can we?
The president reassured.
Can you play it, Lofa, please?
Yeah, play.
I have part of it though.
Yeah, I don't have it though.
Yeah, that clip. That clip. There's something he said in that clip that I really want to.
He had a BBC interview, and he said that he said that he support the war crimes code, and he push for it. But the thing is this though.
Wait. He said that
resolution.
No. He said.
Yeah, he said he support.
He said
I saw this. I saw the transcript. He said he supported war crimes code. He said, he said people should not. He said impunity should not be allowed. People, he said impunity should not be allowed. People who bear the greater responsibility of the crime committed against humanity should bear the full weight of the law, which is good. I support it 100% though. But again, the president needs to step forward. I put more fire into it. If you're serious for you, send a bill tomorrow send a bill to the legislature tomorrow and say, look, let's start another war crimes code. So
let me say something. By the way, great news about that. I heard him. I didn't hear that part. I haven't seen the transcript. I'm waiting to see the full interview. But let me talk about what I saw. There's a promo clip that's going around, right? Where he's asking, look at Liberia today. Where are the schools? Where are the this? Where are the that? Where are the this? And he's asking all these great questions. And I see a lot of my friends on the Unity Party sharing it around, spreading it around like nonsense. Like the Lofa, please mute yourself. You causing the whole why you such a call. So I see a lot of my friends on the Unity Party spreading it around like like we have the second coming of Jesus has arrived. Look, President Joe Boakai continuously for me. When I listen to that interview, the president is a walking contradiction. I'm sorry. Walking contradiction. If you have a man who has served government for 40-something years at the highest level, I'm not talking about somebody who was clerk and secretary. I'm not talking about when he was secretary in the library at CWA. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about managing director of LPMC, managing director of LPRC, minister of agriculture, vice president of the Republic of Liberia, and now president of the Republic of Liberia for 3 months. And President Joseph Boakai sat on an international news organ and asked where we can feed ourselves, where are the schools? Mr. President, are you serious? When you serve as vice president for 12 years, when you were minister of agriculture, you were the head of what Keff can say the Green Revolution, and you ask him.
But he wasn't going to shots. He wasn't going to shot, Ben.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Tomalin. Thank you for reminding me that he wasn't calling a shot. Yeah, but I would say this. The president should not be saying that. He should not be saying that. Do you know what what I'm looking forward to seeing Joe Boakai say? Accepting responsibility for his generation screw up and saying to the country that I am going to be the last of this generation that messed this country up. Okay? And I have an opportunity now, and that's why I'm going to make the tough decisions to fix it. That's what I expected from President Joe Boakai. I didn't expect him to he's speaking like somebody who is shifting the blame. Like, Grand old Joe has arrived. And now I am confronted with all these problems. And where do these problems came from? No, Mr. President, you are a walking part and parcel of why we are where we are today in our country. And so when I saw that clip, I was disappointed. And I see a lot of my friends on the Unity Party sharing it around like the second coming of Christ have arrived.
The president is a walking contradiction, and he needs to stop that. He represents what is wrong with Liberia. His generation, they screwed that country up. They got us to deal with what we got to deal with today. Like let me remind people again. Joseph Boakai served as Minister of Agriculture. Joseph Boakai served as LPMC Managing Director. He served as LPRC Managing Director. He served as Vice President for 12 years. All of the concessions that we are crying about today, Joseph Boakai's signatures are on those concessions as President of the Liberian Senate. And he's been 3 months.
You say you're back. You're back.
He's been 3 months as president of the country. No bold action. None. I saw today. And
if he was, why was he taking salary?
But leave Tomalin with me. Leave Tomalin. Tomalin left for me to hit president. When he do these things,
when you're vice president, you are limited.
Yeah, but let me say
how much you can do.
But let me say this.
Jeremiah Kuhn, I agree.
But let me say this, okay? President Joe Boakai, if President Joe Boakai would do himself, history will remember kindly President Joe Boakai if he absorbed the responsibility for his generation. Ellen didn't do it, right? Is not part of that generation. He came and so he couldn't absorb that responsibility. I'm talking about, because guess what? George Weah is a product of that environment. He's a product. George Weah happened because of the screw-ups of that generation. That's why George Weah happened. Because the children of the slum had to look at one of their own. So Joe Boakai should be ashamed of himself to sit on BBC and try to portray himself like a saint when he's not a saint. He is a part and parcel of this problem. He needs to fix it. I commend him for saying he's supposed to war crime, because guess what? Joe Boakai was part of the PRC. He was part of the PRC government. He was part of all of these governments that have ripped that country apart. And he cannot sit and try to act like he's coming out to save the country. He has an opportunity to do what is right, but he should accept responsibility. It's just like how, and this is my last thought on this, okay? It's just like how President Barack Obama, when he gave that speech about Jeremiah Wright, when President Obama said, when they asked him why he couldn't denounce Jeremiah Wright before, he said, these people are a part of me. I couldn't denounce my grandmother, who used to look at me and cringe when she see black men. I couldn't denounce Jeremiah Wright. But guess what? He has crossed the line. So now it's my responsibility to bring America together. That's what leaders do. Leaders don't try to pontificate and come across as, I was not part of it. We tired hearing the story about walking from Wasonga. That's not what we want to hear. We want to see him now take bold decisions. We want to see him now deal with the challenges that we have in the country to lay the foundation for our people. For our people to finally get a break, instead of trying to shift the goalpost and make it look like to say, he's a savior when he's not a savior. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's why President Boakai came to rescue the country, Ben, because of
let me come in, Ben. Ben.
Okay, before you come on, do you mind if I just play a snippet of that?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me play that. Let me play that part of it, and so people can hear Honorable Boakai again running away from his responsibility. By the way, this particular portion I'm playing, it was cut by UP partisans. So all the other ones he said, they did not include it. But we will play and we'll still tear it apart. The deceptive politrick.
Look at Liberia today. Where are the clinics? Where are the schools? Where are the streets? Where are the roads? Not because we couldn't build them, but the monies have been diverted to individuals. And what are these individuals? They go outside the country, they buy houses, but the country that they make the money from, they are afraid to use the money there. So they go out. They forget that there are hundreds of children here that are not going to school. There are no medical. I have a very close friend now who is sick in Foya. He could have been brought here by helicopter, but where the corruption is a poison. whatever it touches, it destroys. It deprives people from having good roads. It deprives others from having good medical facilities. You're always wishing to go elsewhere when you can have it right here. That's what corruption does. It destroys a nation. It makes people become disrespected because people think we are a country living on handout when we.
All right, guys.
Okay. Let me come in. Let me come in on this. You know, Ben, you correct, and I can say this. Joe Buckeye and others, and I'll always say this, and I will continue to say it. They think that Liberian people are so stupid. After 42 years, and you're asking, even the chair you're sitting down there, that chair you're sitting, that the former president chair, the chair you're sitting on, nothing you show up. No, seriously. Listen. These two gentlemen up there were in our office. They know what I'm talking about. His own chair. These two gentlemen. His own chair.
My question to you is: they have money that pay for the chair?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, he is up in his office. That his own. When I say his own chair, his own property.
Can we speak to this?
These two gentlemen up there know that because we're in the mansion.
Kev, come to the issue, man.
We were in the mansion. No, but no. You see, guys, the people need to know that. That one of the things that went against us because we were acting the big and said, no, we're not talking, we'll just leave it. But these two gentlemen up there, Tomalin and Ben, know that because we're in the mansion. So we know. So for him to come out for 42 years without showing anything, we are showing nothing. For somebody to ask him and say, look, what about you? What is your legacy? Your road in Lofa, the Lofa road. Nothing to show for. You know, one of the favorite tip I always talk about is about Joe Biden in the Senate when this issue of South Africa came out. He told the American Congress, let's take the responsibility. We let down the people of South Africa.
You know, that's a part of healing too.
Yes.
Acknowledgement.
When the issue of Rwanda came out, Bill Clinton said, we made a mistake. He said the mistake that we did in Rwanda, we will not leave.
I'm hearing something
under that.
Breaking news.
They say cars are now going through in Liberia and police and armed men are in the streets. What's going on in Liberia? What happened in Monrovia?
What?
Cars are not going through in Liberia and police and armed men are in the streets. What's going on?
Oh, wow.
I just left the phone. Somebody told me they were actually looking for closing argument office. And they were looking for Tomalin Josh.
No, let's be serious now. Yeah, let's be serious now, man.
Serious about this.
I like to make no.
Wait, Calabo.
You guys continue.
We're treated as.
Let me pause.
We don't want to panic the country.
It's not good to even put that out, Tomalin.
Yeah, you gotta double check it first. You don't.
Yeah, you have to cross check because you got so many sources. You can ask his good friend Jeremiah Kuhn. You know, he gave me the information.
I'm
making calls so people can hear calls. I mean, it's phone.
Yeah, but Lofa mute yourself.
Lofa mute and call.
Well, I mean, people want to hear what.
Lofa.
You can't. How you just call somebody knowingly?
Lofa, when you do that, you're trying to cross check. Closing argument. That closing argument is causing panic and the
clear the air first. Go ahead,
man. So speaking. Grace, you want to talk?
No, Keff for finishing. Let Keff finish.
Yeah. Yeah, Grace. So at this moment, right? What GMB is saying on BBC, it's the same way he ran the campaign, same lies, same everything. They have generation that destroy Liberia. Their generation. He was in Dole government. He not taking responsibility of what happened. When we start to grow up to know ourselves around, to play around, they destroy our lives. They destroy our lives. What JMB was already an adult, he was already a minister. Don't even want to come and put the blame on only 6 years of government and say they stole, we will do this, putting police people around or putting asset recovery people around. No. Taking 1 million, putting it on agriculture and say, I'm the this arrest agriculture, this 1 million. 1 million. But taking 1.5 million and giving to Emmanuel Gongwa then to be walking on the streets. How can you do that? How can you do that? Liberians need to put the bias a mindset away and let's fix this country. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Listen to them. They lies too much in that country. Too much, Grace. They will get up and just lie on somebody. Lie. They will get up and say, oh, Grace used government money and buy this mansion. But you see people on the street and say this and say this. And we have to be careful. And I told Ben, and Ben, I said this to you. I'm worried about Liberia. I'm deeply worried. And this is not politics. I am worried. GMB is not the right person. He will cause chaos because he's not up to date to the young mindset of Liberia, of the entire world now. GMB is a mistake, and we all will know that. We'll reach a point, and someone will say that electing GMB is a mistake. It will put Liberia back more than where we was. You'll put Liberia back. I rest for now. But GMB is a mistake.
Grace, that Grace coming.
My friend Vera Hani said on her comment, she said, if JMB was a park car, means that he was a ghost employee as well. So they need to. That's so funny, but I am kind of between the president, his whatsoever he did on BBC today. I'm disappointed actually. And the flip flopping of this man, sometimes it's just, we have to toss when things is wrong, but Liberians, I mean, we voted an 80 years old man into power. So maybe the man forgot. Maybe he actually forgot that he ever served in the last government for 12 years. Maybe he forgot that he was in the government. He forgot that he was Minister of Education, Minister of Agriculture. Maybe he forgot those things. Who are we now? Because, people of that age, sometimes they forget. They got someone they will rather remember, then they got someone then too will forget. So these are the things that we told our people, that when you vote people into power, thank God that Senegal, the Senegalese has introduced that now to West Africa or to Africa as a whole. We need innovative, energetic, experience, and leaders that have the credential to carry on the work, that they will do what they're supposed to do, and they know what's going on around the world. They know how to use the latest cell phone. We need those things. It's reality. We can't get away from it. And that's the reason why I just so disappointed in the presidency. He asked, where are the schools? We need to be asking you, sir. The question is for you, where are the schools? Where are the clinics? Where are the roads? You were president, you were vice president for 12 years. I know they say you were not calling the shot, but you had something to say within those things that were happening. If you did not have anything to say, you are not part of the decision making, then we pay you free money. You need to pay the Liberian government back the money that you were paid for 12 years. Then we will demand that money from you. But you can't come and ask those questions while you were a part of full parcel or part of the whole or government for 12 years in a very substantial role as vice president of the country. And we disappointed. We need to own up and be accountable for your part you play in the last government. At least you don't have to say it, but you have to show it. Action speaks louder than words. Show it and start doing what you promised the Liberian poets you said that you were going to do. Show it. And you need to, when you're speaking, you have to be very, very careful what you say moving forward. I don't know the advisors you have around you. They are not doing you justice because the world listen to BBC today and they laugh. Seriously, people who I mean around the world, they listen to the speech and they're like, but what he's saying, how can he even say this? And we don't want our person to be frowned upon and laughed upon. So, just to say the least, please do the Liberian Post justice. Let's move forward. What are you going to do? How are you going to execute it? And you don't have to be asking questions that you're supposed to be asked those questions instead of you asking us and telling the people or asking the people that were there because you were the people that were there. Thank you.
Then, Grace, quick question for everybody on here, and I could be wrong. I hope that I will be corrected. Uh, isn't it stated that the older you grow, the younger you become, whether it is mentally or however way? I don't want to speak to anybody's mental capacity in any way, shape, or form, and I don't want to be denigrating here, but isn't that the case? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because obviously. Um, Honorable Boycott two other the elections or the campaign. He did not one did not did the register voters ask about what he will bring to the table or what his impact have been in government. And when we suggested those things, we were told the people minds were made up and few people bought into that insult. I felt like it was an insult to consider that people minds were made up as though we are just bunch of animals and or just bunch of computers. We are programmed to act in a specific way and we would not change that mindset. So when people came up and said, oh, the people minds are made up to vote on a boycott into office, I took offense to it. And today we are listening and seeing for ourselves why I took offense to it. Because the person who's supposed to be answering the questions of where are the hospitals, where are the schools, where are the security sectors, or how far are we with protections, he's asking you, where are those things? Somebody would say he spoke hypothetically, okay, scenario-based questions. But you know what? I often say, yesterday, seditionists ran the streets with cameras behind them to highlight their impact, okay, the projects. Today, the UP doubled the cameras behind them to the extent where a more Ali can tell the people, follow me, let me show you the drainage and how they should be flushed in the rivers and water around you in order to clean the drainage. This is a man who's supposed to be experienced, okay? This is a Mo Ali speaking on camera, but everybody want camera behind him. Eugene Fangon, the loud mouth, nothing to prove for his loud mouth bunch of shenanigans, spoken rhetorics, going to the whatever it's called LBS. He wants to show off. Every step he takes, he brings camera behind him. What is any different from what CDC did? And that's the reason why I often say to people, I think we settle for the less. Every time we are opportune to hire someone with competent quality, and we had three options. Why it is true that at the very down minute of everything, I knew there probably shouldn't have been room for Councillor Gonglo because he wanted to sit on the old mat to apply the new one. I still felt like he should have been an option in the race. But you had three options. Alexander B. Cummings, number one. Climate Moneyba, number 2, and then maybe finally, because of his statement, Councillor Tewan Gongolo wanting to sit on the OMAT. We left all of those aside and selected a man who had nothing to prove, nothing to show for his work, nothing at all to show for his work. He dwelt and relied on sympathy and appeal to the people sentiment. You give him the office, live with it.
All right. So let me make my quick comment. I know Julius always, I don't know what we need to have a special discussion on this issue. But I'm sorry I came in late. 1 minute. I sent a message from Monrovia.
Okay, Julius, I wanted to ask you quick, since he's answering the message from Liberia. I will make a comment on, how when you say Omen Bwaga is 80 years old, people get offensive. The Bible said it. It said by reason or strength, anything after 70. So even that's why I even suggested that anybody over the age of 70, they should pass a law. Like Brent president should be from 70 down. Because after 70 is reason by strength. And God just gave you the other years to just enjoy with your grandchildren and relax and live your life. But for us to, start voting people doesn't have anything to do with their memory and whether they are strong enough and whether or not, but just for the country's sake, because Liberia, where we are, we need, people that would be of that strength and that willpower and the energy to be able to lead our country forward. And it has to come with experience and your credential as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just say this. I just spoke to the Justice Minister about he's the head of the Joint Security of Liberia. He said that he's not aware about what we're hearing, but he's going to verify and get back to us. So maybe while on the show, we'll hear from him. But I just spoke to him. I spoke to him directly, so I just want you guys to know that he said he's going to verify and get back to us. So you continue.
Yeah. So I actually sent text message to somebody who is in the military, but unfortunately he's in Banga now. And what he said to me is that they were removing on the late Representative Nimba Johnson Kweklo today, and I think the AFL ban was out up to late evening. So there were a lot of soldiers went out there to accompany the ballot. So maybe that could be the reason. I mean, that's the reason I gave you. So
it sounds plausible.
Yeah. So but here is how I like to start. When I came here, I listened to Lofa Julius. He was trying to ask a question whether when people getting old, their mental capacity actually improves or decline. I'm not a psychologist, neither am I a doctor. But here what I will say. I think the vice president of Liberia, Jeremiah Kun, has diagnosed a problem. Listen to his interview on OKFM. He said, when your brain is declining, he compared brain decline with wearing pampers. I'm sure most of you listening. So I will go with Jeremiah Kun very on this matter because I think he's an expert on that. He knows the president. He talk about mental decline. So I will go with Vice President Jeremiah Kun definition on how he classify his father and President Bwaka. So that's where I will start. But there's something interesting about our country, and we have to be very honest about that. When something good is outside Liberia, anytime it comes to Liberia, we have different standards. We water it down. It becomes diluted, weak, soft standard. Typical example is the economic freedom fighter of South Africa. That movement that Julius Malema started and is growing in strength. And these boys understand the colonial history of Africa. They articulate the issue very well. Listen to the economic freedom fighter leader in Ghana. Listen to them. Then listen to their counterpart in Liberia, Imaya Gonkwe, the issue he fight for, and look at his record. So anything that comes to Liberia will get watered down. It's broken apart. The stand-up breaks down. Liberia is a strange country. We talk about asset declaration. The current president-elect of Senegal, I had the opportunity to watch him today and went through. Do you know during the campaign, Towards the end of the campaign, he challenged his competitors. He declared his asset. He said, this is what I'm campaigning with. This is my asset. He has 2 used vehicles, and he took a loan from his friend to get into farming. And I think his bank account balance was $6,000. Okay, he declared everything during the campaign, but all the other contenders, all of them refused to declare because he was saying, "Hey, I'm coming to fight corruption." When I listen to President Bouaka has graphic, detailed, in-depth understanding of the impact of corruption on society. I agree with the president on his understanding. But where I am disappointed is he understands the impact of corruption, but I disagree. I watched the interview when the president said that's why the council of people he brought in his government are clean people. That's not true, Mr. President. Ellis Coffey, go to GSC website. Ellis Coffey is in your government, is on asset recovery. Your vice president, look at Central report. Your vice president put $1 million in the budget for his private clinic. It's there, Mr. President. So you say you brought clean people, but I can go on listing people in your government who pass record in public service stand questionable. So to say to BBC, hey, this, because I understand the menace, the impact of corruption, the destruction of corruption, I've brought in clean people in my government. Mr. President, I think you let us down on this one. But I agree with you on the negative impact of corruption on society. I agree with you, Mr. President. And the other thing I want to also agree with the president, and it's important, because when you read Chris Smith's statement, he was quoting President Bouaka campaign speech, his inaugural speech, and now the president has added a new weapon to it today, that those who bears the greater responsibility must account. I think he's consistent on this one. So this one, I applaud the president on that. The only thing I don't like is the slow pace, because there's so many rumors that the president does not want this war crime resolution to leave the Senate. On the basis of that, Yomli Kanga, Daros DeLong, or Abochie, I spoke to a senator today, a CDC senator today, and he told me that in fact, the Abochie group, the Yomli Kanga and Daros DeLong / Jeremiah and Bouaka group are trying to put a language in the resolution, the consent resolution from the Senate, to water it down. The only thing that is going to remain is that they are consenting to the establishment of the war crime code, but they are putting other conditionality that will make it like it's almost impossible. So he said to me, he said, well, the good thing is the press will capture that there is agreement on to establish war crime code, but the guys are trying to put those conditionality. In my understanding, from those who are within the bellwether of Monrovia politics, is that the president is beyond trying to put those conditionality in the resolution, and he says something else to the BBC correspondent. I just hope he will come clean on this matter. I rest.
Well, I mean, I will just, as I said earlier, minister just confirmed that nothing, everything is clear, like everything is calm. Police just doing the normal routine stuff they're doing, so don't need to panic. So then he's the head of the Joint Security Commission. That means all the security apparatus falls on him. So when he says that, I take him by his word. So I think all is well in Liberia. So, but yeah. So what you're saying concerning about that, about the war crime code, every stuff. One thing is that it's certain. The U.S. government, they are fully behind it. They have promised to fund it. So no matter what any senator, any lawmaker try to do to undermine that process, I think they will get a rude awakening. In fact, as I told you, the congressman who is strongly behind it, the U.S. government sent the ambassador here. The ambassador came to Liberia, met with the lawmakers, met with the president, and they showed her that they were going to establish this code. It's long overdue, you know. And every one of us here, I mean, everyone, forget about politics. We're all being affected by the Liberian Civil War, and that culture of impunity, it continues to permeate, and it has to come to a stop, you know. And so I pray and hope that they will get serious about it and establish the court, and they can do it. Just a stroke of a pen, they can get it done. Send a bill to the Senate tomorrow, to the House, and tell them you want this, and put all the stuff that needed for the court, and they put in a legislation. The Senate, the House will pass it, the Senate, and they put it for up and down vote. Anyone who vote against it, then you, I mean, it's like, yeah, you don't want, then you have a problem, because we must find a closure to it. People cannot just, because, and that's the problem. People feel that they can do things with impunity, and then they have the audacity to say they're running for position. They say they're running for position again, and mind you, most of the people that want to have influence our election in our country, until we can put stop to it, because like we're talking about protest, everything now. If you continue that way, somebody tomorrow say do something, I will do something too, because nothing came out of the first one, and then it will become a cycle. So I think it's upon all of us to pressure our lawmakers, our government, to ensure that this code is formed. It's long overdue.
But Tom, to even add before Russell coming, to even add to that, if you look at a growing wave of more violence as a culture imposed on Liberia, one can attribute it to the lack of justice for the war. Because people feel like, okay, those who kill, nothing happened. Those who men, people who destroy, nothing happened to them.
Who steal.
So, yeah, we can do the same. So, in fact, the culture of more justice, I didn't grow in Monrovia. I came to the university. I mean, for the first time, I came to Monrovia, in 1987. To be honest with you,
wow, I see why you close. Socially, you close.
I'm a typical village boy, So I came to Monrovia late. Okay,
so I got close. You close. I will say something, right? We had a conversation about. I won't say what we are. The message, what I want to say. Wow, I'm
a typical village boy. I live within my compound, my tradition, and what have you. But the culture of more violence is a war culture, and we need to set an example that people drive away from that.
I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, it's long overdue. It's imperative. I mean, our future depends on it, regardless of what all of the noise, the likes of Prince Johnson and others have been making. We need the War and Economic Crimes Code to be set up. As you said, Kelebo, that would ensure confidence in investors. I mean, it will go a long way. I mean, what we see now with this mob violence, I mean, the impunity, the culture of impunity is so ripe and pronounced in our country, is because no one has been held accountable for all of the heinous things that they have done. So, hope that, President Boakai would do the right thing. The Liberian people are asking for this. They're calling for this. They're calling for War and Economic Crime Code. They want to see, accountability. They want to see people held accountable. And I think, I mean, like a friend told me, he said, look, and I think, I don't know if you said that, Kelebo, somebody said, like, you referenced that. A friend of mine told me, he said, look, you see systems and you see things happening in other places, but those same things, if you were to take it to Liberia, they don't work. It's like Liberia is a complete outlier in so many different ways. It's a complete outlier. I mean, and people they thrive on that dysfunction and the impunity and all of the chaos that go on. Some people thrive on that stuff. So, we really have to support our lawmakers, call our lawmakers, encourage them that we need the War and Economic Crimes Code to happen. So one of the training that we are trying to do here, Tomalin and Kelebo, is this crowd control training. One of the things that the police told us is that we need a way to deploy and put this these things under control, and even the mob violence. But again, we need these police to be trained to be able to control that, to be able to prosecute people who have violated the law, and across the board. So establishing the War Economic Crime Code, I think, would be one of the first steps to showing people that, look, we mean business. We're not going to just allow people to run amok in this country and do whatever they want to do, and there must be consequences to your actions. So that's all I have to say, and I will try to see if we can impress upon the police chief, Liberian National Police, to come back on Sunday to have a much more robust conversation with us. I will keep you all posted so we can get the word out. So we at least Sunday, a lot of people are not doing their stuff. They're watching games and watching shows and all of that. So maybe they can carve out some time to call in and ask the police chief some questions and all of that, because public safety, security, all of those things are critically important. And so we'll try to see if we can make that happen on Sunday. So guys, thanks a lot, and it was always wonderful, always a great opportunity being here with you all, and discussing the issues that matter, in our country. So I will hopefully see you all on Sunday.
Okay, thank you, Winifred. I appreciate that. So again, guys, I'd like to let Ben to share something encouraging about our statement last night from our dear friend and brother. So Chairman Sanvee, yes.
Yeah. No. Well, obviously, we saw a statement from the chairman of the Liberty Party and representative of District Number 7 in Nimba County. I know he expressed to the world what everybody eventually got to know, that his son, who, by the way, I know very well, I know their family very well, we're very close, got apprehended and arrested for possession of firearms and narcotics. We want to send our hearts and prayers over to his family to comfort them during this time. This is a difficult thing to deal with as a family. I think every family in Liberia, at one way or the other, in one case or the other, have some kind of attraction to this issue when it comes to this issue of drugs that has taken over the country. And it is more of a sickness than more of just young men and women wanting to do this. So I think at the end of the day, we wish the abilities well. I got a chance to speak with the chairman last night. Denise, his wife, it took a lot of courage for them to do what they did. He's a very powerful man in Liberia. It's very simple and easy. He could have used his power to say, well, you'll cover this one up, you'll hide it, you'll or maybe you'll take my son out of this thing and stuff like that. But he chose to do the honorable thing and to act like a leader. And so I want to thank him for providing, for being the leader that he is. I've never doubted Musa's capacity. That's what I've always said. When I listen to people question him and talk about him the way they did, it makes me cringe, right? But I want to thank him for his leadership and send my greetings, best wishes to him and his family. So I think it's important, and this is a very difficult thing for him and his family. So hopefully people will respect their privacy. He has made it public. He said that the law will take its course, and then eventually this young man needs help, right? Because you can't wish children away, even if the child has done something wrong. Those of us who are parents, we know the difficulty of it. Doesn't even have to be drugs. There are mental issues. There issues. There's so many things that happens with young people, and I think it took a lot of courage for him to do what he did. And so I want to thank Musa for his leadership, because he has. I was reading the comments under his post, and I saw some people person after person saying, "Me too, me too. I feel you've spoken for my family," and that's what happens. That's why people talk about the symbolism of leadership. That's what happens when you are a leader. You take the lead. You will find out people who something people may think may not have been cool. People will say, "Oh, you know what? But if Musa, if I mean, this is a family who don't need anything, right? Musa is a wealthy man. He made a decision to come out publicly. Then me too can talk about it. I too can talk about it." So I said to Musa, and he has committed. I said to him, I said, "Look, I think this is now an issue you can add to your agenda. You can now become a strong fighter and a strong champion for the war against drugs." And he has committed to doing that, and to work with the government, and to work with agencies and international organizations to see how we can bring a scourge to this end. So I want to thank him for his leadership on this.
Ben, let me just chime in on that real quick.
I'm a voice to that to what Ben said. Many people don't know, but if you meet the man Musa Ability, you'll get to know that he's a far different person than what people say. The things that some of the garbage they say is about him, and like people say all kinds of things about this man. But just imagine, since the man submitted he declared his assets and published it, all the noise people just say over the years, so all kinds of stuff is over now. You don't hear them say a word. They can't challenge him or do anything. But again, like Ben said, I want to say again, our prayers and thoughts with Musa and his family. Very, very nice family. I've met them. Every time in Liberia, his wife treated us very, very good. I always invite. He's a very nice people, and to come have the courage to do what he did last night. People are now giving the story now. He opened it. People are now coming up to talk about the story. People have been in the dark. Some people have been hiding, embarrassed to talk about it. But Sam Musa came out last night. There are a lot of people who now come to say, "Look, I have a family member, I have a child, I have a son, I have a daughter that's suffering from this same struggle from this same addiction." And so all we need to do to strengthen our institutions and mobilize resources and pray for those who are facing such a dilemma. It can be cured, though. It can be cured. I know people that I don't want to call his name, but maybe he said it last night on one show. He said that he was a victim of it too in his early days, but today he's a successful person. He's doing well, highly educated guy, and so it happens to everybody go through these things. But again, we say we pray and we stand with you, Musa, and your family. We have our thoughts and prayers, and we know that this too shall come to pass and overcome it. And I have a strong feeling that your son will overcome this and he'll be a productive member of society very soon. Just keep your thoughts and prayers.
So, Tomalin, let me just chime in on this conversation here really quick, and I pray not to offend anybody in my just honest view and in my opinion. I hope that it come across as just being objective and not trying to kick a man when he's already down. When the incident of President Boykai and few members of the government thought to make mockery of the issue of drugs addiction in Liberia, when they decided to go sit and do drug tests, we spoke about these things. Okay. We said, look, the issue of drugs is not something that you can politicize. President Boykai and few colleagues of his, including Darius DeLon, thought they could make mockery of the situation. Okay. And you never know when the bullet is going to come in your direction. And that's the reason why we must often remain cognizant of our environment. It is saddened to hear, okay? And I must say to this, I said it earlier prior to Ben, you coming on, and I think, Tomalin, you heard me say that I applaud Representative Musa Hassan Bidadi for his position, his statement made. It was courageous on his part to have made that statement. But let's be honest here. How many other Liberians are going through similar situation? How many Liberians who nobody know their parents? There's a John who is an addict and is roaming the streets, probably may get arrested by LDEA tomorrow and may have to stay some time incarcerated. When people are politicizing this entire drugs addiction, when and where do we draw the lines? When nobody knew Alofa Julius, if Lofa Julius were to be arrested and incarcerated, would they be, God forbid, the same situation? We must not often wait to react. Let us learn to be proactive. Let us learn to be proactive. Liberia, over the years, have been victimized by drugs abuse, drugs addiction. We politicize the entire issue of drugs addiction to that of the CDC government simply because we wanted political office or offices. Today, it is literally dragging its leg towards our homes and offices. At what point will we unite our ideas to fight several issues in our country? The rich will send their kids to the best schools. My Mary cannot afford that. The wealthy will give their kids the best of medical cares. My Mary can't do that. The wealthy and government officials who kids are in possession of firearms will shoot at innocent Liberians because they are within close proximity, whether it is towards the girlfriend or whatever, and nothing comes out of it. When would the justice system fight for everybody? At what point will the people start to experience justice like everybody else? It is sad that a young man will have to go through what he's going through. It's sad that Musa Hassan Bidadi, who appeared to be a man with a really, really good heart and have done his part and continue or try to do his part, may have to go through this. But the reality remains. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of Liberians out there who nobody knows. Some of them are going to bed tonight addicted to drugs. Some of them are going to bed tonight without food. Some of them are going to bed tonight probably may end up in situations that you and I would not want to see any of our relatives being a part of. Let us not be selective in our fight for better Liberia. I think we deserve better. Every Liberian deserves better. Let us try to make it an even playing field across the board. Every Liberian, regardless of how wealthy your parents are, regardless of what position your parents serve in government, regardless of what it is or where it is you find yourself, I think we all deserve better. And I think that should be our fight. Going forward, let us all prioritize the fight against drugs. That is the best way to fight. And it must be done holistically. Let Honorable Boykai and other people stop making mockery of the situation. His son is also a product of that community, that environment. He's making mockery of it by going to take drug tests and claiming that he published his result or whatever it is. I think we need to do better than that. Thank you.
Heron, let's take some calls quickly, okay?
Yeah, but I just wanted to chime in a little bit on this. On the drug issue, here is what we're missing here. I think the bigger picture is the drug is a product of the war. In 1999, I was in Sino. I was doing a contract in Sino. Tomalin, you won't believe it. In a town called Nyenwolo. When you leave Greenville, you're going toward ENR Mission, Nyenwolo. I slept in that town. And I saw opium farms outside. around the outskirts of the town. That was the first time in my life I saw pot farm. Now I just gone out there to eat myself. I said, "What is this? They look so beautiful." And they said, "These are opium." I said, "This is illegal. Why are you planting?" They said, "Brabi, they're all making our money well." So it's a product of the war. And you know who were growing that? Security people, not the ordinary people in the town. Those who are security people, they were making the farm. So if we are prosecuting some of the war criminals and some of the, maybe in the investigation, some of them who brought in drugs, dangerous drugs to drugs this case to fight for them, those things would have come out. Some of the companies involved, so after we should link this war to the war and go holistically to deal with the war, how to rehabilitate our country. I mean, I know many things have happened with the United States or Nigeria. I mean, these are big countries with so much drugs. The United States, Nigeria, and we are close to Nigeria, But Nigerians have moved to Liberia and are manufacturing drugs in Liberia now. So they're not bringing drugs across the border anymore. They are actually manufacturing it in Liberia. So I mean, we need to be. It's a good thing for the government to take this serious. Arresting people is one thing, but we need to have a program to rehabilitate them. If we don't have that, we don't even have the kind of jail to host these people. Because you want to arrest people, you're going to arrest probably 1,000 persons a day in Monrovia. Where is the jail to keep them? So we need to actually put in more. The $1.9 million they're giving to Cloud Mighty and his group to waste our time, they should take it and build new rehabilitation center outside Monrovia, maybe towards bombing. Quick, very fast, that we can take these people to and start to rehabilitate them.
We're here to take some calls quickly before we let people weigh in on this.
That's it. You've been following very closely. It's that time like pulled in your calls to 077701765, and then you're going to form part of the discussion here tonight on the closing argument. 077701765 is the number to call, and WhatsApp number is also 07777 +231 777 You can also place in your call to that number, then you're going to be live on the closing argument. So that go to the line to take this very first caller. 077701765 is the number to call, and then you're going to be live. So this caller, good morning. How are you? Your name from where you join us? Thank you, AB. Thank you for following.
Thank you, Chief. I do appreciate you people for the discussion on, the table tonight. But, I said this the last time, and, sometimes you say there's those who follow this party, sometimes of a different. But, again, I got to realize last time, the option, we are not for that, we are never for that for the government. The regret is that we refuse the things or the actions or the decision taken by us. And this is where we are. Today, people are complaining that, the downsizing other people from some payrolls. And you see, we've been recording that our players on Freedom FM, people were crying. Another woman cried yesterday that they were about to take them from on the street. So the people did not come to rescue. Those who were not having their situation today, they got their police and they are being able to rescue themselves. They have no intent about themselves. So once you are able to handle your something that you are not able to handle yesterday, that means you rescue. So
okay, thank you, AB.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for following as always. 077701765 is
ready?
The number, and then you're gonna be live.
Okay. Well, I got somebody in line.
Okay. Go ahead.
Good afternoon or good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Salvina Cole from Texas, and Good Friday. Happy Good Friday to everyone. I want to make a comment about the police chief. I appreciate him coming on. Tomalin, I hope he will make every effort to come, and everybody to come on tomorrow. And I think I really admire the work he's doing, as well as what's the other one, AB, and the rest of the guys there. But I hope he will make effort, like I said, to come on. Oftentimes, when these folks come to America, it's the best time for us to get them to answer clarity. We know they're busy. At least come abroad. They should factor in some time that they can, go from platform to platform to just answer some questions, especially when it comes to the police, because that's a very delicate and sensitive area there. I for one, I have almost 4 or 5 questions when it has to do with the police around the security booths, around the cars, around even gender, the systems as it relates to gender issues and how they're networking with the gender ministry and making sure that the numbers are the same. Because what we've seen in the past is the police can have a different data in the system and the gender have a different data. Everybody not putting the same stats and stuff. So I'm hoping that he would make every good effort to come on tomorrow to take some questions from the public, including me. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I hope Savina, you're listening. If he's coming, we'll invite you to join us as on the panel so we can all engage him. Since you have a lot of good questions for him, we'll invite you. If you come, if you have the time, you can join us so we can have an interactive time with the director of police. Henry, any more calls?
Yeah, calls quick comments. 777-017-635. To this caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Nush calling from Pinsio.
Okay, Nush. Go ahead, 1 minute.
My thoughts and prayers are with Representative Ability and his family. I wish that the Inspector General was still in Mulongo. He had a lot of questions to answer. The morale of the police is very low. The issue of bribery and corruption is another issue that he needs to step up. The issue of drugs is a very serious issue in our country, and we need to stop with this. It's a social problem, and we all must work together as a nation holistically to solve that issue. Concerning the interview with President Baga today, you don't expect much from him because he still believes we are in campaigning times. Campaign is over, it's time to govern. So nobody, President Baga, sign up for this job. You must do this job and start shifting things. Thank you.
Thank you so kindly. 077701765 is the number to call. And then you're going to be live here on the closing argument. 077701765. To this caller, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, young brother.
Your name from where you join us?
My name is Idrissa Sombai, and I joined from my brother resident.
Okay, go ahead and make a point. You've been following.
Yeah, let me say hello to my young brother, Keff Hassan. Yeah, Keff. I admire a lot. He's always sometimes on the Abraham Williams show.
Okay.
Let me say hello to young brother, Ben Sanvee, and also Lufa.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, let me call this point. Let me say this one guy in his bunch of arrogant boys that always coming on the platform to old man Joe cannot rescue this country. Let him try to lift the seat peacefully. Because the man is that show will be a gross incompetence. This is a man who cannot do anything on his own. How will you go somewhere so and picking a good king name for God's sake now? That show ineptitude, same brother. So we don't need a president like this. All right?
Okay. Thank you.
We don't need a president because this man cannot maintain this country. You make our country go on the contrary.
Okay.
Also, what we look out and say, but I think Liberia is serious. So me, I'm so sorry for my country. I love my country, so I will speak the fight.
Are we building?
So let's call her. Hello.
Hello.
Your name from where you join us?
Yes, I'm Socio Bushtober. I'm calling from Casa, Louisiana.
Okay, from Louisiana. How's Louisiana?
Yeah, cool. Everything okay.
Okay, make your point. 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, anyway, I think that everything, almost all the areas we talk about, we have problem with the police, the way they handle things, the way the government proceeding. But I'm a minister also, and I think if I could be allowed, I would like to come on the show with a war for this nation concerning what we need to do to solve all the problems that we're talking about. We will continue to hold down the problems and thinking that we'll have solution. But God has given me a word. We have only one solution for the problem.
What's that solution?
Of this country, which is the war. The solution is the war crime code. Why I'm saying this is because from biblical standpoint, wherever blood is shed, especially on the mass group of people on a nation, it takes the one man that God will use to handle it, which is the leader of the country. I can give you series of examples from the Bible. Then I can bring you back to history. When World War II ended, the same year World War II ended, the German open court, the Japanese open court, the Italian government open court, they started prosecuting people. And we can see today, even here, the first war crime code that was established in Africa, in Rwanda, and we saw what they did to form a remedy to the solution. We even saw our neighbors here. Whenever these things happen, let's forget about the biblical time. When I have the time, you are invited, I will come and expand on the ball.
Oh, okay, thank you. We have to take more calls.
Then solution came to the country. Germany now is the third best economic country in the world. How it all started? It started with not allowing impunity to suffer, but this going ahead and punishing people for the wrong. Today, look at Liberia. I can assure you by the word of God, my war, if we do not do that, every year, the year to 2023 will be better than 2024. 2024 will be better than 2025, and how we continue to go in reverse. Liberia is in perpetual reverse until we can do something about the war crime code.
Okay, thank you so kindly. Until we do something about the war crime code, 077701765. To this caller. Hello.
Two more callers. Good, man. Two more calls.
Yeah, this is Louis. This is calling from Super Rule Shower community.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say thank you very much for being on the show for this night. My issue is on the President Boaka. This old man, on a revelation, came to all that if they may become a president, calamity will come in Liberia, and it is true. We are seeing it. I'm going to show 3 points concerning about him that will be calamity. Before you come to president, you won't be there for anchor to anchor. Get to presidency, and letting him inaugurating him is vintage. After he won, many people died. Up to now, people are dying. The intention is going in the presidency in this nation. If we Liberia now come to ourselves very quick, I'm seeing war. I am seeing war. Many people may hear this and say, I'm saying my own thing.
Okay, thank you.
My people.
Thank you for making your point.
Where the people?
077701765. I will take Jack's more than 10 back to the panelists.
God forbid. I'm seeing peace.
Yes. I said I'm seeing peace. 07770. Let's call her. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
And if I want you to join 1 minute.
Hello, I'm Jack.
Okay, Jack, make your point. 1 minute, please.
And let me say thanks to the True FM family and also Fabry for making this station to support all the technical program. But let me say this, I will never let to recommend to the others that in the state there, at least let me try to create their own radio station in Moravia. The reason why I'm trying to say that, True FM is doing extremely well, but at times they will be on that program, and True FM got other program, and they will not, if you ever will not doing that program, and we had ever, so most of them never get straight to other radio stations just to get them, but because of other activities they can bring to, I recommend they should try to bring that over.
Henry, get our brother number, please. Henry, get his number.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this quick. To be honest to you and to be fair, you know, I was getting to realize that they push that everyone was discussing, accusing person we are government for. I got to understand that Unity Party and other opposition are the ones bringing a push into this country. That make at the end of the day, all the bad push into why is it today we're getting to know that the honorable son were arrested with push. I want to believe that even the Unity Party, they are supporting the Unity Party, all have to bring push into this country, get to support us. We are government at that time.
Okay.
But everything that they do, it will come to light one by one.
Thank you so much. We'll come to light one by one. The very last caller, and go back to the panelists. 077-017-635. So this last caller. Morning.
Yeah, how are you, sir? My name is Smokey.
You have to dress away from radio. The feedback. You will have to dress away from the radio. The feedback.
Okay, sorry. Is it correct?
Go ahead.
Okay, my attention is drawn to our brothers and sisters that was started today. You know, my sister was just saying that protesting is not good, but when you are protesting, don't break property is good. But when you have a government who behaves like a rebel, you always observe that the citizens who will behave like a rebel. How you will go and down past 750 you probably get that you are going to get their job. And even when you're not satisfied with them. But 750, one data, what do you expect the people to do? Their children. Then you say they are lesion. You giving all of remarks like
okay.
People have nothing to do. So the government just came to do something. They are not here to prepare, to develop Liberia. We are praying for our country to be peaceful, but the people are not. They are not after that.
Thank you.
We don't happiness.
Thank you so kindly. To the caller.
Thank you.
For this number 15,
thank you.
Someone is asking why we are contribution to build a radio station in Liberia. So you will have to.
Thank you.
We are part of contribution to build a station.
Let me progress. Thank you. Quickly, man. Guys, look, it's been a great week, and today is Good Friday. We'll be celebrating Easter on Sunday. Next week, again, on a side note, next week we'll be in Charlotte to bury our brother and his mother, the late Henry Dubai and his mother. Will be there. I know Chairman Ben will be on hand, and I look forward to seeing Chairman Ben. I'm sure we'll have a nice time there. But celebrating, we're celebrating our brothers home going. It's a sad time, you know. Guys,
yeah, I'll come.
We give it the God in prayer. But guys, before I leave, let me say something though. I want to say something quickly. One thing we should start in our society. People have a tendency of they have started to do this thing. You cannot. They are destroying young people. Yeah, you may not have supported this government. You may not have supported this party that won the election. But at least we should learn to. We should stop destroying young people because of for politics. In the case of the MPA MD, there have been people trying to destroy that young man, and honestly, I'm very sad about it. Very sad. It's not a good thing.
What did you say?
He's trying to do.
Where are you coming from with this?
First, I'm coming. No, I want to say something. No, I want to say something because let me finish.
Are you talking about former MP or former MD?
Well, this is what is going
on. I think he's talking about the current MD.
Yeah, be clear so we can know. Because the former MD, they are in power. I mean, who's trying to destroy him?
No, they are the present MD right now. Okay, Sekou Hussein, what is the Dukley? There have been people trying trying
those
to
are the
come up with
United
all these
Pastor
allegations.
people.
No,
Those are
no,
the
no. But
United Pastor
I
people.
received.
This is the man who done all the
Let me
thing on
finish now.
Facebook. You can
But
post
let
it.
me
Let
finish,
him
please.
land. Then
Yeah,
you
but
can
let him
respond.
say, let him
received,
say.
Let him land. Then you can respond to him.
I received some documents today for somebody trying to tell me to come to try to destroy the young man with all kinds of allegations and stuff on him. And I don't think it's fair, linking it to all kinds of stuff. And I think it's wrong, and we should not encourage it. We should stop it. It's not a good thing. And the person was trying to tell me to comment. When I try to verify all these things, I found out it was not true. You can't do that. You can't try to destroy people because of politics or anything. Is wrong. And I don't think anyone else wants for somebody to do it to us, to come and destroy us for no reason. It's wrong, and we should condemn it. I want to say that the young man, I think he just got to that place, gave him the chance to perform, let him do his work, and so forth. You have a problem, go through the right process, but to come with all of these things. I mean, I saw they sent me a whole dossier when you try to verify all the lies. Can you imagine linking the man to stuff that's not true? I don't think it's fair. And I'm happy that our platform will not encourage that kind of destruction of young people. We're not encourage it. So I want to say again, rest assured, everyone, whenever things are brought to our attention, we'll do our due diligence to ensure that, or we'll do proper check before we talk about it. We won't just come and just destroy people's character and impugn their reputation. I want to say that. So guys, I think I'm over from this side. Oh man.
Yeah, Tomalin, guys, you see what Tomalin has done? In terms of strategic impact, Tomalin has actually introduced the issue that we don't know about. If you verify the things, wait, Tomalin, even without giving survey, you have actually.
The studios guys won't get time. So let we won't get time because the guys studio is calling my attention.
Now, you have created anxiety.
We'll continue. We'll continue discussion when we meet the guys.
You have to just remain silent. Don't talk about it.
No, but I have to say because people are.
Let me say this. Let me say this before we leave. Let me say this. To Tomalin's defense, Kelabo, I think Tomalin spoke in general terms.
Right.
And I'm waiting to see what, because I'm sure he would share with us. I'm waiting to see what he was talking about. But I do agree with him on principle. People are not supposed. Listen, I'm a victim of people trying to spew stupid lies and all because they don't agree with me politically. Right.
And that's true though, Ben. We can control on this tomorrow though, because we all the time. But yeah, I think similar communication was sent to me, and when I tried to probe in, the person backed off, and then I just trashed it because that's how Liberians are. Because they will send you information to bring to the public because they feel like we're like the other network. So, but I mean, I think it was good to warn those who are involved in these behaviors of trying to start this kind of. But good night, guys. We are.
Lofa, you always promise to call. You don't call. I mean,
no, but you.
Are you trying to learn how to fishing today? Bro?
Okay, guys. I will see you.
Good night. Let's leave. Good night.
All right.